Hello and welcome to episode 599 of Fergo and the Freak. I'm that bloke from Rugby League Project, Andrew Ferguson. You can find me on Twitter at AndrewRLP. And joining me as always is the glorious LeagueFreak. You can also find on Twitter at LeagueFreak. How you going there, mate?
I'm going well, Andrew. I'm sorry to all of our listeners and you as well for not being around last week. I was down with the sickness.
You were down with the sickness?
Yeah, it wasn't as cool as the song makes it sound like either.
Did you feel a bit ooh, ah, 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 ah?
What? Is this a song that I don't know about?
Okay.
Yeah.
You'll have to listen to it now.
Okay.
That's like the opening line of the song.
Okay. Yeah, I've got no idea what song that is. Who sings that?
Drowning. No, who was it? Disturbed.
Disturbed. No idea. But yeah, so I was crook last week, and it's funny because I know we both were ready to launch into the West Tigers again because, you know, it's something every week with them. But we've got
I'd say it's our warm comfort blanket.
Yeah, 100%.
When everything else turns to shit and you've got nothing to fall back on, we go back to the West Tigers, especially when they're in the mire, because that's just easy content.
It's like the safety blanket for us and Isaac Moses.
Yes.
And I'm not even bagging him. Like, why wouldn't you? It's just a fucking cash cow for him, that club. But should we get stuck into emails first?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But get the admin out of the way.
The admin. We love emails. It's fucking, you know, you make it sound like a fucking chore. What the fuck? Okay, the first one is, the subject is follow-up, and it's from Glenn. It says, "G'day, Fergo and the Freak. Regards to my email from the last pod. I think you guys misunderstood what I was getting at. I wasn't suggesting the NRL go behind a paywall. It was that Nine and Fox should be able to televise the grand final and State of Origin, giving me a choice just like I have the choice watching Test match cricket or Bathurst. What another fun week in the West Tigers soap opera. Cheers, Glenn." All of that's true. I would love all of that.
Yeah, I can't argue with any of that. I thought he was going to say something about Paul Gallen.
He didn't in this one, which is kind of, you know what?
Because I thought we mentioned him. I thought that's what he was going to have a go at us about.
He didn't mention Paul Gallen. Maybe he's dropping off on Paul Gallen, hey?
Maybe he's liking him. Maybe he's found out about the boxing career and he's gone, you know what? This guy knows how to bash heads in.
Yeah. Well, no, anybody that's seen him box knows he can't fight. None of them can fight. None of these football players can fight.
I mean, he fights better than the rest of the football players.
Yeah, but that's like not saying much.
No.
So anyway, I agree with all that, Glenn. I just agree with all that. I'm always shocked because I always watch the Fox Sports coverage of NRL games. And whenever I have to watch the Channel 9 ones, which is State of Origin and Grand Final, it's like going into a time warp back to like 1992, and the coverage is so bad. Like, I don't mind, what's the main commentator they have? Matt Thompson, yeah. I don't mind his commentary. I know a lot of people don't like it. I've got no problems with it. But just the whole production and, you know, up their own ass stuff. And, you know, one of the things that TV stations and broadcasters do is because they're all TV people, the thing for them is the production stuff. So they get so wrapped up in like, let's do montages and voiceover. Oh, isn't this wonderful? Look at the editing. I spent so much time on this. It's like, I don't care about any of that shit. Talk to some players. Show me the fucking game, you know?
Yeah, I think Matt Thompson's, I think he's okay. And I think he would be better served and would do a lot better if he had better co-presenters around him. And
yeah,
because at the moment I think they're kind of dragging him downwards.
Yeah, look who he's bouncing off.
Yeah, and he's kind of being a little bit dictated to by these, you know, former prominent great players. When I say former, I mean they're former players. They're obviously always going to be greats, but you know they're not great commentators.
No,
and I think he gets a little bit dragged down to their level just because of the reputation they have as players, and that's understandable.
And he has to have a conversation with them, you know, and you can't have a conversation with them if they're talking about dumb shit, you know, and he has to have a conversation with them. That's his job. So he has to sort of come down to that level. And yeah, I agree with you completely.
He's constantly doing segues that involve getting back to commentating about the game.
Yeah. Imagine how difficult that is.
Oh, it's rough.
Imagine like calling a game and then the dude next to you starts talking randomly about someone's thighs.
Yeah.
Like, and not just like a mention, like a real conversation about it.
How
and then you got to go back to calling the game. Like, it's a fucking miracle, quite honestly.
Yeah. I don't know how he does it. So I think he's one of those blokes. If you put him on Foxtel and had him commentating games there, and just had some decent, like, not Michael Ennis around him, some decent co-commentators around him. Because I think Fox Sports could probably do with a few more commentators so that Michael Ennis isn't on every fucking game.
Yeah,
every time I turn it on, he's there on every game. To the point now where I think Harvey Norman only sells replays.
In what way?
All I ever hear is on the Harvey Norman replay from Michael Ennis.
Oh, so really?
That must be all Harvey Norman does. They just sell replays now.
They just sell replays. I don't mind Michael Ennis, but his commentary is not great.
No, I can't have a bar of him in any capacity. When he was on the shows and not as a commentator, and he was doing some of the analytical stuff, I could handle that. That was fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
He's not doing that anymore.
No.
He's trying to do Blocker Roach blokeyisms, and he's not from that ilk.
There's just too many times with his commentary where I feel like he went into the game with some ideas of things to say, Like there was a game a number of weeks ago between Penrith and Parramatta, and he said, the crowd hears, how to go at Penrith, and you could hear they just didn't,
Yeah.
I think it might have actually been a Penrith designated home game. And or it'll be like, like we joke about every game's going to be an ambush, which is kind of funny. I kind of like it. Anytime he says there's going to be an ambush, I kind of get excited now.
Well, the other one too is he's the key players for a team. He will talk up their involvement in any play when their involvement is zero.
Yeah, they'll have passed the ball like in the middle of the field and it's a try to the winger and he'll be like, look at this set up by Cleary, and it's like Cleary literally passed it like 5 passes ago.
Yeah, or he might say, that quick play the ball is the reason why they got this thing going. The play the ball wasn't that fast, and that wasn't the reason why. It's like people running different lines or something else completely different went on, like 35 passes later.
Another one that jumped out at me from that Parramatta versus Penrith game a number of weeks ago was he talked about he was talking about Mitch Moses and how he has a great record against Penrith, and I was like, what? And I literally go to Rugby League Project and look it up, and it's not great. It's really terrible. And in that game, because that game stood out for me for whatever reason. And he was saying how Parramatta, has the wood on a bit on Penrith, and like they literally don't in any capacity at all. You want to go by
a very brief period in those first 2 or 3 years of Penrith's dominance. So the year that they were runners up, and then their first 2 titles, Parramatta went toe to toe with Penrith. I wouldn't say they had the wood on them,
but they went
toe to toe with them.
They were one of the few, but like you say, toe to toe, there were. It was like one of a couple of teams that didn't get completely fucked up by Penrith.
Correct.
Like, and the West Tigers, weirdly enough, Yeah. Like just stuff like that. You go into a game and it's like, don't just say stuff when it doesn't exist. That's all I'm asking for.
There's still no, just realised, right, that the Sharks aren't just a team out there beating teams at the bottom of the ladder solely and nothing else. And I mean, that bit of information got dispelled last year. And they still think it's relevant now, you're now talking about stats from 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, get with the fucking program, pal.
Yeah, and it's easy to do. Like, I mean, I would know you would do this as well, because I try and do it as much as possible. You kind of got to update what you think about what's going on. You got to update your stats and stuff. And if a team turns things around, you got to take that into account, and say, look, this team was smashing that team for a long time, but it's not been like that lately.
No.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a hack. Get him off.
Okay, next email.
Yeah.
So this one's from Daniel. G'day, Fergo and the Freak. This is a bit of a longer email. G'day, Fergo and the Freak. Thank you so much for taking the time to answer all my questions last time. Since then, we now have the record-breaking rights secured. Love the idea about an Emerging Nations World Cup. Would like to get your thoughts again on the following. And here's some of the points. During State of Origin time, as the eligibility rules have been changed and we are unlikely to see tests between Pacific nations during the Origin period. And then he says, mind you, these were some of my favourite games with all the passion and stuff. What are your thoughts about having a State of Origin series between homegrown players only from Victoria versus Western Australia? It would be I
like the idea of thinking of something completely new.
Mm-hmm.
I'm keen on that. I don't think that'll draw anything because I just don't think there's enough players to make that happen. What I think would work is a variation of that is city versus country, but don't have it as New South Wales only. Right? So have it for country is any town that has less than less than 50,000 people.
Yeah.
Right? That's country. If you come from a place that's got less than 50,000 people, you're from the country. You play for country. And for anything more than that, you play for city.
And you're a country person, right? I'm a city person. Would you as a country person feel like you have something in common with somebody from Northern Queensland? Like a kinship where you want to take on people from Brisbane. Like, would you want to take on people from Brisbane?
I wouldn't say it's so much people from Brisbane. There is a genuine city versus country mindset, though, that comes through people in the country, and that is, people in the city don't know what it's like to live out here, and that's true. And it's just, the same goes the other way as well. But, there's this, especially when I was younger, there was this mentality of, the city slickers are soft and weak.
Yeah.
Because they don't do hard yakka like us.
Yeah. Yeah, and like from our point of view, it's like, fucking country people, they go on about being soft and stuff like that. They don't know what it's like to have to stand waiting 5 minutes for your cafe latte while some, teenager makes it. Like, they're not as tough as they make themselves out to be. So, yeah, I get it.
I think, too, the sentiment I've found since living in the city is that, the country bumpkins they're just kind of stupid. So it'd be kind of like
Have you ever run into that?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
And you don't really get told that too much, but you get treated that way sometimes because apparently, and my ear's not attuned to this, but apparently country people talk a different way compared to city people, and therefore you can pick them out, apparently. I didn't know there was different accents in Australia.
Yeah,
Australian-born people. I can't hear any of that. People reckon Adelaide people sound different. The only ones that sound different are Queenslanders because they just sound like they're dribbling the whole time.
And they are. I've heard that.
No, I cannot seriously hear how people think there's an accent between different states of Australia.
I can with when you start going up to Queensland. Like, and Queensland's, and if you'd ask me how to describe it, I couldn't. But, and the further north you go, the stronger it gets. But for the most part, I can't pick it out. I know that I've had people say to me, that other people, no one has said it to me directly, but I've heard that there are people from Eastern Sydney can, hear when somebody's from Western Sydney, which is weird to me. Like, I don't get that, but some people are just tuned right into it. I tend to phase accents out a lot, and I think it's because of it, like a lot of people. I'm not special. I've heard so many accents through getting media from so many different parts of the world that I don't really focus on accents anymore. Every so often there'll be ones like, if you're an Irish chick and you talk, I will listen to you talk all day. I will just sit there with my chin sitting on my hands, going, just keep talking. Like, So Irish chicks, but for the most part, yeah, I don't really hear accents as much anymore, but in Australia especially.
Well, I think going back to what we're talking about, I think country people would probably find a deeper connection with a country team in that sense than the city people would, which would be pretty cool. And I think that, though, on the other hand, the city teams they'd have a lot more stock to pick from for those sort of players.
Yeah, definitely. The other problem we get is like, and I say this as someone that's always lived in Sydney, the idea of like it doesn't pump me up personally thinking, oh, we'll go and take on the country players we'll go and do it for our city. That's just not there.
A lot of that is because the Sydney media, which has always been basically all of the media that's, recorded the game, I guess, for all of our lives anyway. It's been the Sydney media. And throughout all of our time, all they've ever done is denigrate the city versus country games and made it sound like they are far, far less useful than they really are, and they're a waste of time and all sort of stuff. They had the same problem in Queensland for, best part of 60 years, talking about the interstate games between New South Wales and Queensland.
True.
And they were always trying to get rid of them. Oh, this is just a waste of time, and we're risking injuring players for this nonsense game that we all know New South Wales is going to win, and we always know City's going to win. But the fans from the side that's always getting beaten, every time they get beaten, it just makes them more determined and more passionate when that win comes.
Yeah.
And so it's a weird thing. But yeah, I think that would be good. And at the end of the day, it doesn't need to be something that the city has to be passionately getting behind. It's got to be something that we can use to try and get some more passion into country rugby league.
Yeah.
And that's the vehicle it needs to be used for. And I think that's something that could be done. I mean, you wouldn't be playing in Sydney. You'd find decent stadiums you could play it in around, rural New South Wales. You can play it in Townsville. They've got a good stadium up there, I hear.
Yeah.
And you can move it around to decent venues like that, so you can try and make the game a bit more accessible to those parts of Australia as well. And as I said, I think a great thing they could have always done, they've got all these themed rounds, have a country week, and you can actually call it Bush Week.
Yeah.
That'd be perfect.
Do you reckon it would work if we did, like, say we did a soft reintroduction of city versus country, right?
Mm.
And the way we did it was the city team is picked from New South Wales Cup, right? And there's going to be some pretty damn good players in that team. Players that we know, right?
Yeah.
And then the country team is picked from, obviously, Country Rugby League, the best of that. But then any country player that wants to be part of it as well. They can be NRL or whatever. Because I think some players would take part in that. Some NRL players would want to play for country. And I think that you could see the countryside win that, right? But with the extra NRL players, you might see some players start to say, hey, what if I go and play for the city team and I stand out a bit? And then people start thinking, oh, so-and-so played really well for City in that rep game. And you sort of try and build something rather than starting it from NRL players versus NRL players and going from there. What about something like that?
That could work. Look, another idea is you can pick whoever you want, so long as they, come from the relevant areas, but they've never played any other form of rep football like Origin or Test footy.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that idea.
So you're getting more promising youngsters coming through.
I think we could, the places we can rule out you can get selected from, though.
Mm.
And by the way, you could add Victoria, and not so much Perth to it, but Victoria you could add to this, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can't come from Melbourne, Canberra, Wollongong, anywhere within the Sydney Basin, Gosford, Newcastle, Gold Coast, Brisbane, and I think that's about it.
Did you say Canberra?
Canberra. Yeah, did I say Canberra? I think I missed out Canberra.
Yeah, chuck Canberra in there as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can come from anywhere else. Just don't be born in those places.
Yep.
If you're born in those places, you can play for City. If you're born in some other places, and you know what? Extend it to New Zealand. Right? If you're not born in one of the major cities over there, you can play for country as well. If you're born in one of those major cities over there, you can play for City, but you can't have played Test footy. You can't have played Origin.
You reckon that'll work if you brought in Kiwis?
Why not?
Yeah, well, it's a good point. Why not? Let's give it a go. See if it works.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. There we go.
Okay.
That's another thing we fixed.
Yeah. Okay. Back to the email.
Oh, that's right. He's only just started.
Yeah. This is Daniel. He's got 2 more main points. From next year onwards, we would now have an NRL club in each state for homegrown players to hopefully aspire to play for in both state and what is now developing markets for rugby league for the long term. The quality of the matches will understandably begin to be at a low level, but imagine playing them as curtain raisers to the actual Origin series and the exposure and interest it would garner. It would be huge. I guess that's a flow on from his last point. Again, a little outside of the box, but with the expansion of the NRL occurring, the idea that rugby league could develop players from these states surely could have huge potential. Who would have thought that WA has produced more NRL talent without a team than what Victoria has in nearly 25 years with a team? That's a really good point.
It's true. And look, WA has always had a very strong rugby league grassroots growth thing there. It goes back decades, several decades. In the 70s, they started up a Pacific Cup tournament, not like the one now where it's just Pacific Nations playing. There was Papua New Guinea, I think the New Zealand Maori side, and from memory, Western Australia and Northern Territory were in it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, bring those two back.
This comes into his next point, right? Also, do you think the NRL is doing enough in emerging states in Australia for developing juniors? Again, cheers, Dan. So that kind of goes to that point a little bit.
It's a little tricky. I've not been paying too much attention. I know that there was on again, off again development offices in Tasmania.
Yep.
And they've had a few attempts to try and get like a domestic competition in every state. And, some states it's just not going to work. Tassie's always going to be a struggle because, I mean, first and foremost, it's an AFL state.
The other thing is it's tiny and it's basically rural. Like all of Tasmania, I'm just going to guess that you look up the population of Tasmania. I'm going to guess that it's 250,000 people.
All righty.
And I'm being super generous.
Tasmania population. What do you reckon? 250K?
Yeah.
576.
Okay. So, and I think that's about the size of Blacktown.
So, and when you got the majority of the state is completely interested in a completely different type of football.
Yeah.
Because say you want about AFL, right? As far as it goes when it comes to rugby league, they're basically poles apart. And we've seen on the few occasions where rugby league players have gone over there, their body type is completely wrong for it. Their cardio and cardio work and physical dimensions are all completely backwards for it.
Your mindset playing the game's different. It's not transferable. If you want to play one, you probably don't want to play the other.
No, that's right. And they're completely different skills. Everything about them is just poles apart. So you've got a bunch of
players can't catch a ball on the full and hold it. They need poles either side of their goals because they need a point to miss it. Stuff like that.
And so because of that, all the people who are playing football at grassroots level there, they've all got the type of bodies, physiques, and cardio and stuff designed to play AFL really well.
Anyone in Tasmania built for rugby league is chopping down trees.
Yeah. And there's not many people chopping down trees there either.
No. The other thing is, it's like there is lots of that place where you are living in an ancient area. You're living in a very different part of the world compared to what most of us in Australia are living. It's similar to like if you live in North Queensland, far North Queensland. It's yes, it's in Australia. it has very, very little to do with what happens as a lifestyle in Sydney, for instance.
Yeah. So I'm not opposed to the idea of having the states playing stuff. And what you could actually have is a residence thing, right? So you have the Queensland residents, New South Wales residents. And when I talk about residents, we've had these in the past where they're not the state of origin quality players. They're players who are playing in New South Wales Cup and Queensland Cup, but they're also born in the state, you know. So you're basically just picking players at that level who are born there. And they're still going to be completely dominant compared to everybody else in the other sides. But that's kind of how you go about it. And you try and make it a annual thing. Everyone's got to play each other. You want to have them play regular games because the more games they play, the stronger they'll all get. I'm not opposed to it. I quite like the idea. I think it's something that really does need to happen. And I'd want to have the Northern Territory involved. They've got a long history of the game. And at the moment, they're not being represented by any sport. And I think it's a market that everyone's sleeping on.
Yeah, and I think I mean, a lot of it has to do, once again, with the size of the market. It is very small, and it's a very different lifestyle to the rest of Australia. And, you know, I think that the thing about some of these locations, like the AFL going to Tasmania, the AFL has to go there now because they have nowhere else to go anymore. Whereas Rugby League can pick and choose a little bit more in terms of their top competition. But at the lower levels, we do need to have representative teams for these places like the Northern Territory, where, you know, every year you look forward to Northern Territory versus South Australia versus Western Australia versus however we do it in New South Wales and Queensland with these teams. You know, I don't think Tasmania has a rugby league competition anymore. I'm not sure. They used to.
I don't believe they do.
Okay, but yeah, it's we've got to do something at that level for sure.
And I just had a look. There's been just 5 players in the history of the game in the NRL, New South Wales Rugby League, who were born in Tasmania.
Oh, there you go. Who are they?
Arthur Blake, who played for West in 1908. Albert Tipper, who played for North in 1909. Taz Jones, who played for the Roosters in 1916. North in 1918.
I wonder why they called him Taz.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on that one.
Weird.
Les Moore played for Balmain 1927 to 31. And Harry Hodson, who played for Cootamundra in 34-35 and then played for St George in 1935.
How about that?
I wonder if Harry was playing in that game against the Bulldogs in 35.
Oh, in the smashing.
Oh, he missed it.
That's why they got smashed.
Damn. He played in the second time they played later that year where the Dragons won by a paltry 34-6.
Ugh, they weren't even trying.
Phoning it in.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to our next email. This one's from Zach. He says, "Hi, Fergo and the Freak. I'm a big fan of the show. I know on the last pod you spoke about the issues at the West Tigers before the Adam Dewey / Benji Marshall," and then he has it in quotes, "misunderstanding / miscommunication," which I love. Zach is he's one of us.
One of our kind.
Yeah. After hearing their joint press conference, I am now more convinced than ever that Benji is not the right person to coach this team moving forward. He clearly doesn't have the experience. With Galvin leaving because he felt he wasn't getting the right coaching, Luai purely be there for the money and moving on for the same reasons to PNG via the Eels, and then he says who the Tigers will pay half his $1.2 million salary, and the Dewey issue, along with other alleged issues such as vaping on the premises. I feel that getting someone like Madge back in to fucking sort out the place, but I don't think the board is strong enough to bring someone back like that. What are the options moving forward? Lifeline Balmain / West Tigers fan, Zach. That's an awesome email, Zach. Thank you for that.
I want to address one thing out of this, right?
Okay.
That vaping story, that's a Paul Kent story.
Yeah, that's
right.
That is, yeah. Go on.
I don't hold that with any fucking amount of value whatsoever. I find that to be a ludicrous comment, and I think that's just some bullshit he started up in order to try and get in on the story going on at the moment so that people could remember who the fuck he was and try and make himself relevant again.
There's a lot of that going on with those sacked cunts.
Mm.
I would say it also taps into the general public's thoughts on vaping. I don't vape, I don't smoke, I don't do any of that. Never have. It's just not my thing. But vaping is not the same as smoking, and I doubt anybody's actually vaping there. But if they're in their downtime when they're going to their cars or something, they're having a vape or something, I wouldn't think twice about that, as long as they're not vaping anything that is going to make them piss hot in a test or affects their performance. Because you can have like nicotine in one of those things and nothing else. Like it can be a nicotine thing and you're blowing out water vapor. That's completely legal.
Yeah, look, I don't know shit about vaping, so I'm not going to get into that. But I'd be surprised if any club is allowing any players to do any or much at all vaping whatsoever on their premises. I think if they're doing it, they're doing it on their own
clock anyway.
Yeah,
on
that's
the
right.
Clock. Yeah.
The issue about Benji, whether he's suitable or not, I think he's fine. I think what he needs, and it's been abundantly clear since day one, is if you're going to put a rookie coach in, you need to put some experienced people around him. And what they've put around him is just other people who are former Tigers players. It's just a glorified version of what the Dragons are doing.
Yeah.
And that's the shit that needs to end.
Yes.
And one person who I think would be an absolutely brilliant addition to the Tigers coaching ranks as an assistant coach would be Jeff Tuvey.
Yeah.
Right? Knows what it takes to be a head coach. Not looking to be a head coach at the moment, but a good defense coach, which they fucking sorely need.
Complete outsider.
Yes. Right? Stop having a boys club mentality. Get someone in there who knows how to win games and get to finals. That's helpful as a coach and a player.
Mm-hmm.
Someone like that is who they need to get in there. That would be something really important. And he wouldn't be just a defense coach. He would have to be the deputy head coach. Right? So he runs the defensive side of things, but he is the actual first step down from Benji Marshall. He's your assistant coach. He's your second in line. And have all the other coaches around that after that. But that's what you need to get in there. Someone who is a bit of an outsider who will do that sort of thing. That's what they need. I think Benji Marshall can definitely work. I don't think there's anything wrong with the way he approaches things. The big problem he had this year was the roster was very young. And as we've seen with any club that's had a really young roster, by the time he gets to the middle of the year, those players are fucked.
Mm-hmm.
It's a big grind going from playing, the more, how would you say, a more sort of comfortable routine in the lower grades where they'll be rotated on a more regular basis so they don't burn out, stuff like that. When you get to the NRL, they're not going to look after you like that. And those young squads, especially when there's a lot of young players come through at the same time, and we've seen it at nearly every club out there, they tend to burn out by the middle of the year and the depth is very low. And that was always my concern with the Tigers at the start of the year was they were just very young, very low depth. And I know I've said it before, like I didn't think they were going to make the finals this year. And I wasn't surprised that they started out in red hot form because, young and excited. And what happened by the middle of the year? Complete fall apart in defense and everything else just falls apart with it. And they've just been miserable to watch. Yeah. And that's why young teams are. They play on confidence and they play on energy and they don't have either at the moment. And most of them don't by the middle of the year.
My thoughts on having watched, and I was desperate to get on last week. I was so angry last week. So angry. To start off, let me say this. None of it matters, right? Well, no. It's the West Tigers. None of it matters, right? You could take all of this shit, drop it back 10 years ago. It would fit right in. to what happens at the West Tigers. None of it matters. The team, for whatever reason, is run under the guise of complete irrelevancy to the premiership, right? Which fucking sucks and makes me furious, right? I think Benji Marshall could have made a stand in this situation. I think the West Tigers could have drawn a line in the sand of what is and is not acceptable. They did the complete opposite, all of them. And I understand that you and me have, with Benji Marshall, have been like, got to give him time, worst situation ever. This was his chance and he blew it. And no one at the club is going to respect him anymore. None of the playing group. They handed control of the club over to Adam fucking Dewey. Fucking Adam Dewey, who if he walks into me and I say to him, listen, I'm going to have you playing lock this week, and he says, oh, I want to play halfback there. I'm like, all right, Adam, you're playing lock. And if he walks away, I'm like, I don't give a fuck. Like, it's just Adam Dewey. You know, and this fucking guy walks around and he talks about being a leader and stuff. Doesn't show a shred of fucking leadership ever. You know, as soon as something goes against him, he just doesn't turn up. And what does the club do when he doesn't turn up? No fines, no suspensions. They put him in the fucking side in the same position he demanded, and then he led them out last week. None of it matters. Fuck him. Fuck the West Tigers. Fuck Benji Marshall. Fans like you, Andrew, deserve 1,000 times better than these fucking people have been serving up for well over a decade now. I'm so fucking angry and disgusted by it, hey. I'm so fucking angry.
Yeah, look, it started with Luai. Like, as soon as he announced that he was leaving and bailing on the club, that's when they said, you know what? And I said it in that last episode, like, oh, if he doesn't want to be here, stop picking him and let's just start working on the next season because this one's done. And they keep picking him, and he keeps playing like shit. And he goes, oh, I'm going to play for Parramatta now. And then they're picking to play against Parramatta. He plays shit again. They go, stop picking him. He doesn't want to be there.
But it's just a continuation of the West Tigers for forever.
I know, that's right. And that's why I wasn't surprised. That's why I wasn't surprised that they, let Dewey back in. They were always going to do that.
Well, my thought was,
you're not going to take a stance against Luai. You're not going to take a stance against anyone.
My thought with Dewey was like, you think of what they should have done, right? I expect them to do the complete opposite. They went further. They went further than that. He led them out on the field. Gave him the position he whinged about. Fucking unbelievable. Like, just unbelievable. Fucking made me so angry.
So that's the thing. I'd like to know how many people are involved in the decision to allow that to happen, because I don't believe for a minute that it is 100% solely Benji Marshall.
No, I think it's a whole club thing. Look, the CEO come out. He gave a statement, didn't take questions, and scampered back into the office. You know, and who has to get pushed out every single week when something happens at that club to talk to the media and answer every single question? It's Benji Marshall. You know, and Benji Marshall could have said, I'm not fucking doing this. This guy doesn't fucking play for us again. If he wants to sit on the sideline for 3 years and we have a hole in our salary cap, so be it. But he didn't say that. And I understand you got to be professional and stuff, but no one at this club's been professional.
No, I mean, no one. Hell, you can go all the way back to when Grant Meyer was there as the chairman, and they had Michael Potter as the coach, and they were throwing Robbie Farah out as the captain to deal with all of the fucking infighting, all that bullshit there.
Exact same shit.
And he was the one who had to front all of that because Meyer didn't want to.
Yeah.
So the captain did. And who's the one who copped all the criticism from all the media and all the fans? No, Robbie Farah did. And it's like, yeah, because he's the one out there, taking all the fucking flack. And when he finally pushed back and says, I'm not doing this shit anymore, like, oh, fuck off, we don't want you here anymore. It's just this absolutely petulant and redundant attitude, everything to do with the club. And to think that after all of the shithousery that's gone on in the boardroom with Holman Barnes Group and how atrocious they are at running this club, another fucking sporting entity's gone, you know what? Let's get them on board to look after our club. Have you seen that?
Isn't it the Central Coast Mariners?
Yeah, the women's team are now going to be run by Holman Barnes Group.
That's crazy.
What part of the entire running of the NRL West Tigers side has made anybody go, yeah, let's get their management team on board?
Yeah, people fail up sometimes in life, don't they?
I just don't fucking know how. It staggers me. I can't believe. And the crazy thing about that one with the Central Coast Mariners women's team is it looks like the whole deal was just done and dusted in a boardroom, and they came out today and said, "Oh yeah, it's all been done and it starts as of now." It's like, well, fuck me, that was quick.
Yeah.
Maybe some fans might have wanted to say no. Nah, fuck them.
Fuck them. Yeah, it's the West Tigers is. I hate saying this, man, because it's your team. I'm not.
I mean, you don't say anything I haven't said before.
Yeah. Okay. The West Tigers are a failure, right? And the stupid thing is that if the NRL brought back their license and said, we're moving them to Adelaide or we're moving them to Darwin or wherever, you would need to make an expansion club for that southern western corridor in Sydney. And they would probably be far more successful than the West Tigers are.
I would move the Bulldogs out there, right, and have half of their territory then dedicated back to the Sharks, and I'd move the fucking Dragons down to Illawarra.
Yeah,
like just give every team in the Sydney region a more similar size junior area, and just use a bit of fucking common sense for once. And I think allowing the Bulldogs to shift further west is not a bad move at all. They could take part of, I'd call part of their area, but the southeastern part of their area could probably just go to the Sharks because it's not far away from there. As well as getting, the Dragons area could be split between the Sharks and South. I can't see why that wouldn't work. And you start to spread the game a bit more outside of Sydney, which is not a bad thing either.
Yeah, I mean, the Sydney is changing quite a lot, and it will change, especially in the next 50 years. And
yeah, I mean, the sprawl. You've got to look at like property prices outside of the Greater Sydney area, and you go as far away as places like Yass, and the property price there is huge, which means that's where people are sprawling to now.
Yeah.
So put teams further outside of the CBD, get them further and further away. They can start covering more of that area.
Well, look, I mean, if you built, and we talk about building stadiums all the time because we love it.
We just chuck them up in our spare time.
Yeah, we just chuck them everywhere. Yeah. Apart from Penrith. Penrith doesn't get stadiums. They don't deserve it.
No, they just get a little bit of a few allotment sheds out the back.
They get 1,500 more seats and lose half a fucking roof somehow.
Yeah. I was going to say that, Freaky says he was sick last week. He's just building a stadium at the back of, Ropes Creek.
Yeah, exactly. Look, you could build a stadium down there, probably just south of the airport, and you can't build it too close to the airport because of like sight lines for planes and stuff. But you could build a stadium down around that area. And
mate, Ben Elias could put one there. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll wait for it to open right when Bellman Leagues Club opens.
He'll have it. You'll have the first world's ever 50-foot story football stadium.
Yeah, right in the fucking pathway.
The planes will fly under it.
Look, that stadium down there is going to get used, and it's going to get. Yes. And the club that moves there will end up being a very big, very successful club in the long term. And that's one of the things the West Tigers have never been able to do. They don't plan next week. They don't. So planning long term is just not even a question. If you said to the West Tigers, I think
the word plan is out of the question. But anyway,
yes, that plan. They're like plan. What the fuck does plan mean? If you said to the West Tigers, like, if you walked through the club and just interviewed everyone and said, where are you going to be in 50 years? I think you'd get 50 different answers, And if you talk to any of the players would say, oh, I don't plan on being here in 3 weeks from now, you fucking dickhead. But yeah, I'm just so angry about it, and the club's fans, just the fans, deserve so much better. But the club itself is just a fucking train wreck, a putrid train wreck. And if the NRL decided to step in and take the license back, take over running the club, I would support that completely.
The club has been so woefully run for so long, and the whole marriage between West and Balmain has been toxic since day one.
Yeah.
And the West Tigers Club has done fucking zero to rectify that situation at all. In fact, most of what they've done, especially under Holman's Barn Group, has inflamed it more than they've tried to ease it, which means what they've basically done, and it's probably to their own advantage, is they've left the fans to constantly fight amongst themselves instead of uniting against the people running the club.
Yeah.
And that's where they're at. And the infighting that goes on everywhere is just, it's a fucking mire. Everything about the club is just shithouse.
Yeah.
It has been for years. And this year, as much as it's shit right now, it's the best year we've had in nearly a decade.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing.
Fucking horrible. You see how bad they're going right now, and this is the best we've had in nearly a decade.
Yeah, and
second last.
Yeah, yeah, and like the only reason they're second last is because the fucking St. George Dragons are putrid. You know, that's the only reason. It's insane, and this is after fucking a quarter of a century. Like, this club is just a work in progress still. And they've been around, they've been around about the same length of time as the fucking Melbourne Storm. It's crazy.
Yeah, and look what they've done. I'll tell you what, though. It's not all doom and gloom for the Tigers yet. Right? Because on Rugby League Project, we've got a ladder predictor.
Okay.
And from what I've just seen, it's the only ladder predictor that currently exists for the NRL.
I know. It's really weird. I've been waiting for the NRL to get these going. I want to play with it.
Oh, you go to my Twitter account. My last tweet on there, I've put the link there to the ladder predictor, and you can put in any score you want. The NRL one made you put in a margin, and it was pretty limited. You can put in any score you want on the Rugby League Project one, and it will put the teams in order by points difference and points and everything like that. So it actually sorts it properly, unlike the NRL one used to. But anyway, I went in there, and I put in pretty. You didn't have to worry about putting in crazy score lines because the points difference is just completely dog's breakfast everywhere there.
Yeah.
But the Tigers can still mathematically make the finals.
How did they do that?
Well, basically what they've got to do is they've got to win all their games.
Yeah.
But they also need the Cowboys, Manly, Melbourne, Canberra, the Bulldogs, and Brisbane and Titans to also have a pretty fucking mediocre run from here on in.
That's
the
difficult.
Titans and Broncos probably... they're less of a concern.
Yep.
But the Bulldogs, Raiders, Melbourne, Manly, Cowboys, they're the ones that need to all have a rough trot home. Cowboys and Manly especially, because the Cowboys have got, I think they've got one win more than the rest of those teams. And Manly, because their points difference is crazy good for a team that's in the middle of the ladder.
Yeah.
They're the only one that's in a positive, and they're positive 90, which is a lot to lose. So they need those two teams especially to just go and lose a lot of games. The margins don't matter. But yeah, the Tigers can still mathematically get there, but they have to win every game from here on in. And they get a bye this week.
So that's spare 2 points.
That's an easy 2 points. That gets them probably nowhere on the ladder. Because there's, I think, 2 or 3 other teams above or on 18 points at the moment as well. So yeah, but this is the last week that they're mathematical. Well, actually, no. Like next week will be the last week they're mathematical because they got the bye this week that gets them automatically 2 points. So I believe they've got the Roosters coming up. Let me have a quick look. They've got they do not have. I mean, it doesn't matter who they're playing at the moment. They've got a bad run no matter what because their form is so dog shit.
Yeah.
After the bye, they've got the Dragons. That should be a win. I don't think it will be because they lost the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Then they've got the Roosters.
Mm-hmm. Who are in great form at the moment.
You know that 82-12 scoreline that the Roosters had?
Yeah.
That could be the training run for this game.
That could break the record. I was very angry during that game too. I had an angry weekend at the football.
Then the Tigers have got the Cowboys after that, and then they've got Penrith.
That Penrith game could be gross.
That'll challenge whatever it is the Roosters do to them.
Yeah.
So,
you know what? And I know it's your team, and you don't want to say it, but it kind of would be cool if this Penrith team broke the record against someone. That would be fucking sick.
I don't know. You see, I think it gets to this point, right? I don't know if you've experienced this, okay? Because not many fans have had the long run of mediocrity that the West Tigers have had.
Yeah.
And so you get to the point where just when you think this team can't get much lower and things have to change and you think things are about to change, they'll win a game and everything just resets back to, we've got to go through all of that fucking misery all over again to get them back to this point where they go, shit, we better make a change. Think about how much shit they went through in order just to get rid of fucking Pascoe and that other clown wearing a hat.
Yeah. I have been through that in a condensed form when we had Matthew Elliott.
Yeah.
And I brought this up a bunch of times when we come second on the ladder randomly one year under him, and I was furious about it because I knew that was our reset. That was the reset of like, we will look at this as a club and say, we're building something and we are not building something. Yeah, and keep in mind, this is in the middle of him bringing through one local junior in about 3 years. Like, it was insane.
And you go, okay, you know now they're going to give him a fucking contract extension. We're going to go through this shit all over again.
Yep.
That's what the Tigers are doing at the moment. We had that great start up until round 8? Sitting second on the ladder. And then the Sharks put 50 on us. And then Melbourne put 40 on us. Manly put 40 on us. Dropped out of the top 8. And it's just downhill from there. It's got to get to the point now where a season that started so strong and had everyone talking us up. The last time we had anyone talking about West Tigers being potential, finalists and possibly even grand finalists was 2012.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember 2012 at the start of the year, the West Tigers were one of the favourites to make the grand final.
Yeah.
Finished 9th.
Yeah. It's terrible. And it's so terrible.
That's kind of where the rot started, was that season. Because everything that happened to this club, after those 2 decent seasons where they finally made the finals back to back, and they actually did have a decent core group of players and good juniors were about to start coming through. And then they just did that dreadful fucking season. And instead of going, you know what, let's just have a reset. We've got the juniors there. We can just rebuild. It won't take much because they're there. They're ready. They went, nah, let's go and buy other players and just fucking screwed the whole thing up all over again. And now we're in a situation where we've put all of our time and all our eggs in the Jerome Luai basket, and now he's leaving. And he's like, okay, now we're going to do a reset again.
Yeah.
And they never do a hard reset.
And you think about like what it took last time. They could say, take a wooden spoon. No, need more than that. Took 3 fucking wooden spoons.
Yeah.
At the end of a decade of not making the finals. So when's the fucking next reset going to be? What's it going to take?
So hopefully what it takes is next week against the Dragons, Tigers lose 50-0.
Okay.
The Roosters, they go, you know what? We're going to beat you 84-6. And then the Cowboys, who recently just got flogged by the Roosters, and they get beat again. They get beat again, and they're down out. They're absolutely shit house. And then they put 50 on the Tigers. And then in round 27, Penrith come out 92-6.
Yeah.
And the Tigers can concede about 600 points in about 4 months.
Yeah, and then if that happened, Benji'd have to go.
Mate, they have to clean the place out.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is it going to take?
By the way, while we're talking about this sort of stuff? Can we bring in the idea of when you get your coach and when you re-sign your coach? Because we had the St. George Illawarra Dragons situation recently where they did their big search for the coach and you just happened to be in the same room. It was Dean Young, right? And then Dean Young's the interim coach, and then it's like, oh, who are we going to sign for our new coach long term? And it just happens to be Dean Young again. And they give him like a 3-year contract. The last year, I believe, isn't guaranteed. It's in the club's option. But they gave him that contract extension, and they only have 2 wins at the time, it was 2 wins in 10 games. And I don't believe they've still won since then. So his record is abysmal. Like, his record is one of the worst of all time at this point. Okay. So then you have the North Queensland Cowboys, who it's really clear Todd Payton doesn't have the ability to make this club go in a direction. Like, they're all over the place. They're fucking scattered all over the place. They have a chance to maybe look to get more out of their club and their players. They give him a contract extension, which they've done in the past, and then immediately the club tanks and gives up one of the most fucking disgusting displays I've ever seen in my life. Definitely in the NRL. To the point, I was disgusted by that game against the Roosters. Like, just purely disgusted by it. And then we have the New South Wales Rugby League, who Laurie Daly stands down on the weekend, and they do a worldwide search that lasts about 5 hours. And it just so happens to be one of Laurie Daly's fucking assistant coaches in Matt King, who is going to be the New South Wales coach. It's fucking insane to me how many times this happens in rugby league. How many times the best person in the whole world is in the same fucking room with you, you know? And anytime you need a major change, you need a major clear out, oh, it doesn't matter because this guy next to me is the one to do it, you know? It's such a poor sign of a poorly run organisation when you get to that point, especially with these clubs that think that they need a former player because the former player knows what this place is all about. And it's like, but you're just the fucking West Tigers. You know, you're just the fucking St. George Illawarra Dragons. You know, St. George loves getting a former player to coach their team. And it's like, what the fuck he's doing? Like, just look at the fucking scoreboard, you know? And the one time they get somebody in from outside the fucking organisation, they won a premiership. Like, wouldn't that be the whole thing? Wouldn't you, if you were in a board meeting, say, you know what? I remember when we signed that fucking guy from Queensland that everyone says reminds them of Clint Eastwood. And we had a premiership. And what did we do? We replaced him with a bunch of former fucking players. And we've stunk ever since. Maybe we should go back to signing someone from outside of the fucking room.
So maybe they're not looking at it that way. Maybe they see that Wayne Bennett was in, they, you know, that was just coincidence.
Someone sitting there going,
you know what? He just doesn't get the club.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't get it. That's why we need to get former players here because they've proven that they get this club. No, they don't
get it, man.
They don't get success, but they get this club.
They get our DNA.
That's right. They are our DNA. You know, I was just looking up. Do you know who the West Tigers assistant coaches are?
It's isn't it Chris Hyington and what's the fullback's name? Former fullback
Brett Hodgson.
Brett Hodgson, yeah.
So they'll do a worldwide search.
Yeah.
Which one of those two are they going to point at?
Exactly. So it's fucking ridiculous, man. It's so crazy, and these places, they do it over and over again. And the thing that gets me is when a club gets up its own ass and is like, oh, got to have someone that knows their DNA. It's like, no, you need some fucking professionals in this place.
Yeah. Get someone who knows what they're doing. That would be a nice change.
That's always fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So I genuinely would like to see Jeff Tooby there.
Just anybody that is not involved in the West Tigers and has not been involved in the West Tigers. That always works really well.
Yeah. That would be good to see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think the Adam Dewey thing was fucking childish.
Yep.
Really stupid.
Yep.
I don't buy the vaping thing.
I think the vaping thing was like this type of story that was like, they play rap music at training.
It was also
that sort of story.
Because as soon as there was shit about the West Tigers, the media did start piling on. So it's kind of the vaping thing was just like a hat on a hat. Like, you're not really. What's your point now? Like, we know the club's a fucking rabble. Like, you're not pointing out any further great information here.
It's like those stories that the media does every so often where it's like a person will kill 15 people and then they say, and you won't even believe it, in the court, he winked at one of the families. And it's like he killed, like that's, of all of the things he did, that's what you're focusing on? Like, fucking Jesus.
Not the murder?
Yeah, not the multiple fucking murders. What the fuck?
Yeah. It's kind of weird. But yeah, as I said, it came from Paul Kent. Because he's irrelevant, more so than ever now. I don't know what sources he has, if he had any anyway.
Yeah.
And there's less sources within the West Tigers than there ever was before. Because the one great source that the journos had with the West Tigers was the hat wearing dickhead that was in there running the place. But he's not there now, so that's not the leaks aren't coming out. So they've got to make some shit up.
Isn't it weird we've seen some stories that have been completely fabricated by journalists recently? Like the one about Laurie Daly's health.
Oh, that was sick.
Fucked up. Yeah.
That was sick.
Yeah. If you don't know, there was this story that started going through the corporate media that Laurie Daly was about to stand down because he had a health concern. And Laurie Daly came out on the radio the next day and said, I have no health concerns. I'm completely fit. And he joked that he might go around again. He feels so good. It was just completely fabricated. Yeah,
and after he addressed the media and told them all he was everything fine, crickets.
Yeah. You're just supposed to forget it.
Yeah. Oh, no, that never happened. That conversation, that didn't take place. You imagine that. Yeah, that was sick. I did not like that at all. I'm glad Laurie Daly's no longer the coach of New South Wales.
Yep, same here.
I'm fucking...
That was disgusting. Yeah?
I don't like that at all. That was atrocious.
But they keep doing things like that. Like there was one a few weeks ago where one of the corporate media idiots was saying that Nathan Cleary was born in New Zealand and that he's a big chance to go to New Zealand. First of all, he wasn't born in New Zealand. He was born in Sydney.
Yeah,
and he
his
come out the next.
His brother was born in New Zealand, wasn't he?
Jet? I don't know. I'm not going to say because I don't know. But
I swear I saw that somewhere that he was born over there.
Well, Nathan come out the next day and said, like, I'm not going to go to New Zealand, and my brother is playing there in the lower grades, and I'm not going to I'm not going to go and stand in his way all of a sudden of playing first grade footy. And Jet's a really good young player. He's going to be a first grader, but it was like that was another one. Then we had when all of the stuff about Payne Haas and his future, and they sent him everywhere except South Sydney. And then when he did sign for South Sydney, they all said, well, I knew all along. I just didn't want to. I just stopped biding my time, And then they all started arguing amongst each other about who actually really knew and who didn't. It's like just so many lies that are getting printed at the moment. It's really crazy. Like there was another one on the weekend where they talked about the TV deal, the broadcasting deal, and the big headline was if the NRL's TV deal is actually worth less if they don't expand. And it's like, no, there's a penalty clause if they don't expand within a certain number of years. And if they do expand, they get another like $200 million. It was framed in a way that it tried to make the TV deal look like it was worth less. And there's all of these lies that they just keep printing and just moving on from. Like, remember all the Rugby 360 stuff where we were supposed to have, all these players were going to be playing for these teams that didn't exist in a competition that didn't exist with no players, no coaches, no infrastructure, no broadcasting, nothing. And then we just move on from that, and the person still is the main writer for the fucking Courier Mail. It's really fucking weird to me.
Yes. You know what? While we're on the subject of journalists,
apparently
the NRL has decided that there's moving forward, they're going to have a team of people who are going to be policing bad journalism, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see the full story. Did you get any more details on what that one was about?
The only things I saw is that they were going to crack down on people within the media that had conflicts of interest within the game, which is also long overdue. It's so overdue.
Oh, completely.
So, yeah, that was one thing. I didn't really take notice of the other things, to be honest. But, I mean, you and me have been talking about how the NRL needs to realise that it is giving access to these people. It doesn't need these people. Well, once upon a time, you probably needed the media. Them days are long gone, you know?
Yeah.
And it needs to start revoking media licenses, not so much if somebody uncovers a story such as salary cap issues, the Asada saga, something like that. That sort of stuff is journalism. It's the fake shit. It's the dragging people through the mud for no reason. And I think as somebody like a Latrell Mitchell who...
Yeah, stuff that went through with him when he was at the Roosters.
Yeah.
The Mercedes, that sort of shit.
Yeah. They were putting fucking, pictures of $250,000 Mercedes on the headlines and saying, oh, he's giving this. And it was like, granted, Mercedes, but it was a base level Mercedes that he could have afforded himself like 3 times over. There needs to be repercussions for, attacking the game.
Yes.
And attacking its players. And don't just keep giving media passes out to people that fucking just constantly undermine the game. I'm not saying to destroy anybody that, comes up with something that is actually relevant on a journalistic level. But you can't have some of these people who fucking just put shit out again and again and again. And just keep giving them free tickets.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a move towards the relationship that the AFL has with the media in Melbourne.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to that concept. I think the AFL one is a little bit too strict.
Yeah, and that's partly the culture as well, I would suggest, which we have to a point, but not much really.
The AFL does have almost control over the way the media reports on the game in Melbourne. But in saying that, it's been good to promote the game and put it in a better light. Problem is when the bad stories come out and it's hard to ignore them, they're going to come out regardless.
Yeah.
People, though, journos, were hesitant to report on those ones in fear that they might lose their license and stuff, even though they're legit stories that need to be reported on. And so we don't want to go too far in that direction.
Yeah. And look, I think as much as you and me fucking hate the vast majority of journalists, I just put that on you, by the way.
Thanks.
Imagine if you're sitting there going, what the fuck is he talking about? I think
shut up. No.
Yeah.
This is the thing, okay. I don't find myself hating that many. The ones I do really don't like are ones who have never actually done journalism. James Hooper, Paul Kent, those sort of people, where all they peddled in was opinion writing stuff. And a lot of the opinions were not very education-based or knowledge-based on the game in any way. So they were just people who yelled at an echo chamber, knowing that they were going to get the answers they wanted. And whenever you challenged with them, they would, block you, or they'd yell back at you, or they'd say some other crap, or they'd criticize you, or criticize anything that you've done, how you're not on the same level as them, or something like that. It's just petty garbage. You couldn't actually have a proper conversation with them about, or challenge them on their points.
Yeah, whereas mine is like a blanket worldwide thing. Mine is like I don't actually pick any of them out. I just think they're all the same creature.
Yeah, you've got that more mindset of there's only one proper good journalist, and that's me.
And that's fuck you piece of shit. You fucking piece of shit. Fuck you. No, like for instance, if somebody come up to me and they're like, I was talking to someone and they were like, I'm a journalist for the Oregon Gazette, my disdain would be the exact same as it would be for some of these rugby league fucking people, rugby league so-called journalists. Like, it's just a blanket thing for me.
Yeah. Don't. So it's more those people who do the opinion cop stuff. See, people like Roy Masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect someone like Roy Masters. He's far better.
But having said that, like as much as we have our differing opinions on journalists, I'll say this time around, if there was a journalist that, say, uncovered salary cap rorts and then had their media accreditation taken away because they uncovered those rorts, I think you and me would be the first people to say that's fucking disgraceful.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anytime you start trying to suppress bad news, that's fucking shoddy behaviour.
100%.
So yeah, I'm hoping that they find the balance right on that, because there's too much mainstream media attacking and criticising, not just the players, not just the clubs, but the over-the-top shit on the referees as well. That's got out of hand.
I don't know, because I mean, I've never seen refereeing as bad as it is right now, personally.
Doesn't mean that they deserve to get the hate and the anger and the vitriol that goes towards them when they're not actually doing their job, though. That's a different thing.
Is that happening?
How many people are going out there and abusing, John Bateman the same way that, Ashley Klein gets abused? Yeah.
So I don't, the only referee that I have, like, I just don't pay attention to who a referee is unless it's Ashley Klein. And that's mainly because he stands out as the worst referee I've ever seen. Right. And I'll say that, and then I'll sit here and I'll justify my thoughts and opinions on why he's the worst I've seen,
That's fine. I can handle that. I can't handle people who just abuse for the sake of abuse and don't actually, they're not constructive with their criticism,
I've never understood the thing of just booing the referee on and off the field blindly. I find that dumb. I just think it's like, if you're doing that, you're a dumb.
There's so much of that happening now and more than ever before, and a lot of that is motivated by mainstream media criticising the referees as well.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that needs to be reduced. I did see, I think I said just before we started recording, I saw a story that said that the NRL is going to try and make sure that commentators are going to have rule refresher courses that they have to undergo every year, so that they spend less time on air criticising decisions and rules about the game.
Yeah, I think that's great. I think it's long overdue. Yeah, it's long overdue.
Yeah.
And because we had a quick discussion about it before the podcast, and I said to you, like, the number of times that you'll see a commentator arguing that something should be okay, and I think about something such. One of the best one is the obstruction rule, where you'll get a player come through and just blast someone out the way, and you'll see a commentator say, "Oh, that didn't have an effect," and it's like, yeah, but that's not been allowed since 1895, literally. Yeah. Those are the times when it's very frustrating that a commentator doesn't know the rule.
Yeah. I mean, that commentator is typically called Phil.
I don't know if you're trying to narrow it down.
I mean, there's lots of people who commentate called Phil.
There's another one called Gus that does a similar thing. Yeah,
those two guys.
Yeah,
they're bad for it.
Yeah,
I think one that that guy does as well. One of those two guys does a lot is. Have you heard him use the line of "Just give it to him"?
Yeah. There's one. I tell you what. There's one that's really bad. His last name's Gould, right? I'm going to say it.
His last third one.
Fuck it. And I love it when you'll say, like, he wouldn't have got to him, and it's like, yeah. Mainly because he got blasted out the line and he's on his fucking ass, mate. That's why.
That's a good one. Just give it to him. That just gets me. It's like, if Phil Gould was around, they'd be behind posts. Like, Phil behind posts and you get 3 points for a new try.
I bet there were people like that early on in rugby league, hey, where that weren't written down into the minutes. That were sitting around and they would be like, What if we put some extra goalposts either side and say, like, you know, when you miss a goal and you're just like, oh, I was so close, so maybe they should get a point, and everyone just looked at them, and somebody looked at the person taking the minutes, just shook their head silently, and then they went on to the next point.
One bloke went out the back and grabbed his musket.
Yeah, just there's always someone in the room with the dumbest fucking idea.
Yes. Oh, back there, it wasn't that far. You go back to the 1920s, they would have just went round to Hurstville and grabbed the bloke who got an axe.
Yes.
We got another one, mate. We just put him at the back near the woodshed. You just deal with him later, yeah? Okay, cool.
You knock on his front door, he's not there. You go around the back of his, and he's fucking sharpening that axe on a wheel.
Getting ready for the next Dragons game.
He just looks up and you go, it's time.
We got another one. Oh, boy. So, what else has been going on?
Well, it's really interesting to see teams that are falling, teams that are rising. And so, like, it looks like at the moment, and let's put the Panthers aside because we don't need to really think about them at the moment, I think. But the Roosters are playing fantastic football. The Warriors have a resilience about them that I don't think we've seen maybe ever. So they're playing very well. The Cronulla Sharks are just on fire. It's incredible. Outside of that, you have teams that are a little bit up and down and who are untrustworthy. So you've got a team like the Dolphins who can look amazing one week and then the next week you're like, this team is no chance of winning the premiership. You've got a team like the Bulldogs who are on a little bit of a good run at the moment, but we know that this is maybe the anomaly. You know, I think that, and that's more likely than not, personally. I don't think that, I could see them, you know, by the end of this year, we're saying, wow, they had a really bad year. Manly, up and down at the moment, and that's fine. They're so far ahead of where they were at the start of the year, I don't think it matters, but they're up and down at the moment. South Sydney, up and down at the moment, and they've got injury issues. The Brisbane Broncos, their season's over, you know, and
how fucking dreadful have they looked for much of this year?
Well, let's do the post-mortem on the Broncos.
Well,
because
I'll bring up one quick stat already, okay? And that is they're the first team since the West Tigers to actually have 2 seasons without reaching the finals, either side of winning a premiership.
Wow. I'm so glad you brought that up because I was wondering about that during the weekend, huh?
I think there was, before that, it was the Bulldogs in 1988. They didn't make the finals in 87 or 89.
Mm-hmm. But that was, keep in mind, that was top 5.
That's right.
So that's a bit different.
Who else was it? There was Balmain, 1968 to 1970. They didn't make the finals in 60 out of 70. They won the premiership in 69.
Mm-hmm.
And the Roosters won the premiership in 1945 without making the finals in 44 or 46. That's all of the teams since World War II that have done that.
That's very rare then.
Yeah.
I think you and me felt the same way about the Broncos last year, and that was probably one of the most special premiership runs we've seen. I see people trying to take away from it, and I think it's fucking insane. Like, they had a hell of a run through that final series, and any team that can beat the Panthers, I'm sorry, I just don't question how good you are.
I feel that they deserved that premiership more than the West Tigers of 05 deserved theirs. And I'm not taking anything away from the Tigers one, but the Tigers one seemed to be based on the rules suited them at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Their form at the tail end of the season and coming to the finals was crazy hot, but it was not based on defense. It was based solely on their attack.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a much easier run through the finals than the Broncos did last year.
Okay. Yeah, the Broncos run was like a murderer's row.
Yeah, they had to beat all the top side. They had to beat the minor premiers. They had to beat Melbourne, and they had to beat the defending premiers.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to do it and you want to make sure you've done it legit, you've got to beat those 3 teams.
And on top of that, you keep in mind this is a team that, and I've said this before, when the Panthers youngsters were all coming through at the same time, the core of this Broncos team, that was them as well. And people thought the Broncos were going to be the better of the two clubs. So it's not like they just were like, oh, where'd this come from? It was like this was them finally solidifying later than we expected. And they were amazing. It was, as I said, one of the best premiership runs I've seen.
Yeah.
Coming to this year, though, not having Walters is one thing that stands out for me because he is not only a very good defensive player at hooker, very smart at hooker, and very good at leading a team around. And I think that once they come into this year without him, that was massive and way bigger than most people expected. I think the obviously the league is a little bit quicker this year, and I think that hurts the Broncos in terms of they've got a bigger pack. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Add to that just the general point of backing up, winning a premiership's fucking hard, and it's why there's been hardly any back-to-back champions in the last 40 years. So add that to it. You've got two main playmakers who are ancient by rugby league standards.
They really
and
are.
Their bodies are one of them. Their body's just broken down this year, unfortunately. And Adam Reynolds, it's over, and that's all right. Great career. Everyone retires, but he just can't. Poor bugger can't get on the field for a whole game. And I think when you add all of those things together, along with a couple of teams that have maybe surged ahead in their development of where they are in their premiership or their run at the premiership, I think it's all culminated in what we're seeing this year with the Broncos. What do you think about it?
Pretty much. I can't argue with any of that. I mean, they started the year, they lost 26-0 to Penrith. They narrowly lost in a high-scoring game to Parramatta, and then they won 5 of the next 6 games to get back into the top 8.
Mm-hmm.
And they've had 1 win since then.
Mm.
You think about it, that's 1 win since round 9.
Yeah.
They've had more buys than wins.
Yeah.
They've had more buys than wins since round 8. That's miserable.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll even take the whole having Ben Hunt and Adam Reynolds sitting there and, despite their age, the one half who has been the biggest disappointment for this team has been Ezra Mam.
Mm-hmm.
I'd send him to Super League now. Because, he's done.
I think it's, at the very least, it's time to move on.
He's done, man.
Isn't it crazy? Because he was at one point he was, I thought he could have made the Australian team at one point.
He was phenomenal, and he's been lapped by Drinkwater. Can't argue with me. That Ezra Mam has done 0 this year. 0.
Yeah. I agree.
I would not take him at the West Tigers.
No, it would have to be a really unique series. Like, you're sticking him outside of Nathan Cleary. It'd have to be that sort of thing,
I'd be dumping him as quickly as I could. I think they've got they've still got decent young guys there coming through. I'd be going straight to those guys instead.
Me too. They've got Pezzett coming next year. I don't know how good Pezzett really is. They've got there's that young bloke that they keep bringing into the halves, and I can't remember his name, at the Broncos.
Yes.
Every time I watch him play, he looks comfortable and he looks good and he does some good things too.
Who is he? Where is he? Can I find his fucking name?
Oh, man, I can't remember his name. But he always, whenever I see him there, I'm like, man, they should stick with this young dude. And I understand why they won't, because, Reynolds won your premiership last year, and he's on a massive amount of money.
Yeah.
But they've at least got dudes there that they can look to and say, this is our future. Maybe we should stick with them going forward. And I wonder if, I don't know if Adam Reynolds has been named this week, but I think it's got to be close to where Adam Reynolds just announces his retirement before the season ends, and they go with that young guy.
No, it is that young guy. Thomas Duffy is named this weekend.
Thomas Duffy, that's it. Yeah. He always looked. He just looks really good, and it's really cool because this year we've seen a lot of young halves that have come into first grade, and they've just looked the goods.
Yeah.
And I love seeing that. I tell you, one of the players that have been similar to that is the young bloke that is playing for the Penrith Panthers now at fullback. Now that fucking Dylan Edwards has this injury, and he's come in. Jackson, what's his last name? Jackson Edgar, I think that's his name. He's come in and he just looks the goods. It's so cool to see when you see young, because you never know how a young guy is going to go when they go into first grade.
That's right.
And you just want them to not stand out and look overawed.
Yeah.
And when they come in and they just look like they belong, nothing more than that. That's a fantastic start for a young player.
Oh, 100%. I think another one that's been pretty good this year has been the young guy that's at the Raiders, Ethan Sanders.
Yeah.
He's 22, but from the very first game he played, he looked calm and in control, composed. He wasn't being beaten. He's got the right mentality, and all he needs is like another season or two playing in there, especially being next to Ethan Strange.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good 5'8" to have outside you, because you got a guy who can do all the ball running that you need and still be creative. And Strange is a great support player as well, so he's going to run close to you if you make a break. That's kind of what you want when you're a young half. You need a ball player like that. Another good player that's in that same mold as Cody Walker at South.
Mm-hmm.
Similar sort of thing. Really good ball runner and can do a bit of ball playing if need be. And Sanders has played really well in that sense. He just hasn't had, a good game plan around him at this stage. They're starting to find a bit of form now, the Raiders.
Yeah, and hopefully he gets a better coach than Rick Stewart too, because Rick Stewart destroys young halves eventually.
He's got a bad habit of it.
Yeah. And I tell you another young dude that's impressed me, Joey Walsh at Manly.
Yes, he looks very good.
Yeah, whenever they bring him in, it's just he doesn't look overawed. And, when you think about all these young players and it being their first real season of first grade, and even some of them their first just taste of first grade, we could be like 6 years away from a literal golden era of halves in the NRL.
Yeah, it's true.
But you never know. Sometimes they just fade away.
Yeah. You go through periods where there's fuck all of them around, and you get other periods where there's just a heap of them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, there is plenty there. But yeah, with Brisbane, I think they've been hurt by, as you said, rightfully, injuries have been pretty bad this year. I don't think Payne Haas has played anywhere near enough games. He's only played 13 this year. That hurts because he's had you play a few games, miss a few, play a few, miss a few. You can't build up any consistency off that.
Yeah, I also think Carrigan's had a poor season, like a literal poor season.
He has. I mean, he's only played one game more than Payne Haas this year as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just everything about it has just been a clunky old season. And they've used 33 players this year.
Yeah.
And a lot of those players have played, less than a dozen games. So they're just constantly churning through players. They've only had 2 guys who have played 20 games this year.
Jesus. And I guess add to that, like how many games they've had where you start the game and all of a sudden your halfback's out really early in the game, and then you're scrambling from there. And the other thing to add up to all of it is, like, as I said earlier, like traditionally, for as long as I can remember, and I only go by what I remember because I've seen it happen, backing up after winning a premiership because everybody else is gunning for you every week and you are the big game and they're all testing themselves against you and stuff. It is so difficult. It is so difficult, and that's why we have seen so few back-to-back premiers. And I think with what we've seen with the Panthers, we've kind of forgotten that to a certain extent. But as I say, Penrith's an anomaly. We can't use them as in any examples we pick.
No, that's all right.
It's like saying, oh, it's not that difficult. The Dragons did all right. It's like, you're picking the Dragons. Shut the fuck up.
Oh boy, the Dragons. What a mess. Yeah. But yeah, it's hard to know what's going on with the Broncos. I think it's kind of easy to say injuries have been a problem, but they genuinely have been.
Yeah.
It's been very rare that they've had their full strength team on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And so even if they do get them on the field even this weekend, they're not going to perform because they haven't played with each other for a while and they're not all match fit at the same level. So shit like that just happens sometimes. Yeah, South had a bad year or two ago.
And like I was just thinking that, like with South, you could not talk about their season without saying, but you don't understand their injuries did not stop and they were always significant players.
Yeah. It was just horrible. Yeah, I don't want to give them any out because a lot of what they're doing on the field too has been ill-disciplined and sloppy, and a lot of the time they turn the ball over, it's through sheer stupidity.
Yeah,
like any player should know not to push a pass or not to tackle in a certain way that's going to give a penalty, that sort of thing, and they're doing it anyway, and it's just nonsense.
The only player that I would give a little bit, and not a full pass, but a bit of a pass to is Reece Walsh, just because there have been times where he is just trying to make something happen and they're desperate for someone to make something happen. And he gets a lot of things right for the one pass that he pushes and he shouldn't have. But if he's not pushing that pass, they're not doing shit anyway. And it's just going to be someone else that pushes a shit pass. So I'd rather Reece Walsh trying to do it because he can pull stuff off, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, it must be rough for Broncos fans because when you win a premiership, you kind of are like, all right, here we go. And you're looking, you're going to the next season, head up, shoulders, back, ready to take on everyone. And then when you come out and you just have this brutal season, it's rough. It takes a bit of something away from what should be an enjoyable experience.
Yeah. But, oh well.
Something about this Broncos team, man. I just can't go in on them, hey?
Yeah. I don't know. They were great to watch when they were playing great footy, but at the moment, they are so irritating to watch because of the dumb stuff that they do.
Yeah.
And I can forgive injuries to an extent, but sometimes when you see just genuinely dumb stuff, you just got to look at it and go, it doesn't matter what your skill level is. You should be smart enough to know when you get to this level not to do stupid shit. Don't fly it out of the defensive line to try and put on a tackle and leave at the wrong time and not be in the right spot at the right time. Don't tackle people in the air.
Yeah.
These aren't skill issues.
No.
These are between the ears issues. But they generally do have the right coach there to fix all of that. But for some reason, I don't know, it's not getting through to their heads. Has he lost the room?
How dare you? One thing I think Maguire needs to do, if he can, before next season is maybe they really are desperate for some just tackling back rowers, some guys that get through a lot of work. They don't really have that at the moment. They're going to lose Haas, so maybe some of these big second rowers that they've got in their team, they can move up to the front row, but they miss the workers. They need more workers in that team, I think. And then it's just, if they just cut down on the mistakes, they're going to have a younger halves pairing next year, which is good. Hopefully they've got Walters for the whole year. And if you just start with that base, it's a good base to build upon. So we'll see how they go. One thing I want to bring up, and it's very important because August the 2nd, round 22, West Tigers versus the Parramatta Eels. West Tigers home game at Parramatta Stadium, obviously. The worst regular season game I've ever seen in my fucking whole life. To the point where I actually celebrated the enshittening of the sport I love as the game progressed. So horrible, so bad, so many fuck-ups. It was to the point where I was thinking, like, I think Peter Valantis needs to get on the phone to some teams this week and tell them to pull their fucking heads in, because it topped off a round where we saw that horrible Cowboys game where they didn't try, they just didn't come out to play football, and some other teams that just got flogged. And then we ended with that shit awful no contest between two fucking also-rans who somehow made their bottom of the table clash look worse than it should have been. And I just thought it was cool to officially have the worst regular season club game I've ever seen in my life be a recent addition to my life.
I was so blessed that I work until 6 p.m. on Sundays. And I do have a problem with my mobile phone where the battery doesn't last as long as it should do.
Yeah.
And I went, you know what? The Tigers versus Parramatta game, it's on at 4 p.m. I don't usually have a great deal of work to do. Like, for example, sometimes when the Formula One race is on in Melbourne, I'll take my phone, I'll put on Fox Sports, and I'll do the work I've got to do, and I'll have that on. I can just watch it while I'm doing my work. And I went, you know what? I'm not going to take my charger to work this Sunday. I will run the risk of having to come home and sit on a train without a phone to distract me from all of the humans that are around.
Tell me God doesn't exist when decisions like that are put before you.
I thought, I can live with that decision.
Yeah.
I don't want to be tempted to watch this.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what happened.
Now,
I sat on the train, and I sat on the train. I put headphones on to make it look like I was listening to music. Obviously, I wasn't. And I shut my eyes and went, you know what? It doesn't matter where I am. I'm not watching that god-awful fucking misery because I know it's going to be bad. And I was, in my mind, I was thinking Parramatta's going to win this 48-6 or something.
Yeah.
So that's what was in my mind. So I got home and I thought, okay, put myself out of the misery. Let's see what it was like. And when I saw the scoreline was close, I went, fuck me, we dragged them down to our level. That's even worse. That's even worse. I can't even watch it and go, you know what? Parramatta scored some great tries. What a great contest. At least one team played good. I can't watch this at all. So I've not seen any of it because I went, nah. If it's that close, both teams were garbage. I don't want to see that.
Well, let's go through some of the highlights that happened after 4 p.m. on Sunday.
Okay, so the teams are onto the field?
No. Okay. So some of the highlights. So, because this is what people want to know. What were you doing at work? Tell us about what you were doing. Some of the stuff you had to do.
So one of the things I usually do, right, is we've got this machine out the back. It's kind of like a big dishwasher,
right? And
what it does is it washes these big plastic crates we use.
Nice.
So I've got to fill it up and turn it on, fill it up with water.
Do they have a special solution?
Yeah, it's like a rock solid powder block.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So it's not. I thought it would have been a liquid.
No, it's just this powder block, and water comes up and mixes with it to wash all the totes. So I just did that. I put that in there, and you just peel all the labels off it so they don't get caught up inside. Stuck them in. They come out the other end and just turn it upside down, get all the water off it, stack them up.
Nice. When they come out to that, smell like a soapy smell, or is it more chemical?
There's a rinse at the end.
Ah, okay.
It gets all the soap off it, and they don't have any smell. Usually, if they've got a smell on them, you've got to give them a scrub and put it through a second time.
Okay.
Every now and then you get one that's actually had like dishwashing liquid that's been accidentally spilled inside it.
Oh, okay.
And when you chuck that one in there, the whole machine just fills up with fucking soap. It's great. You got to spend half an hour getting all the soap out of it.
That's awesome.
And when you got to finish at 6 o'clock, and you know that the job you're doing is only going to take half an hour.
Yeah.
That soapy one, that gets you an extra hour of extra labour out of the way.
Oh, shit, eh? So you don't mind it?
No, God, no, that's great.
Nice. Going back to the football game between West Tigers and Eels, like, is the train station you go from clean? Like, is it a nice train station?
Oh, God, it's fucking dreadful.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think one of the first times I ever went there for work.
Yeah.
I got to the station there after I finished my shift, and I saw like 4 or 5 SWAT guys there.
Oh, jeez.
Had the fucking big semi-automatic machine guns out. Because some blokes up the end of the platform had a fucking knife and wanted to stab himself or something. I don't know what the hell's going on. I said, just push him in front of a train.
Yeah.
Save yourselves the drama.
Fuck oath.
I mean, that's what he wants.
Look,
I did not say any of that.
No,
they managed to disarm him, and they put him on a blanket or whatever. I don't know what they did. They took him away.
Blanket.
I don't know. Everyone else was standing around gawking at him. I went, I couldn't care less and just look at my phone. I come from a small country town.
Yeah.
Being surrounded by 15 million people, it's not comfortable for me. So,
it's just all noise. It's like
I try and get lost in my phone, and I'll look at news articles or stuff from the past, or I'll read stuff, or I'll play a game or something. I don't know.
So a heavy police presence for me at a train station is normal, but Mount Druitt Station, like, that's what I grew up with. So I'm just like, aren't SWAT at every train station, you know?
Yeah. Oh, Wednesday.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It's like, you know, anyway, so this game, we should talk about it.
Yep.
What time did you get home from, like,
on Sunday? It's usually 2 hours.
Okay, well, that's a pretty fair track.
Just on 8 p.m. because I finished at 6.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah. It's a fair old hike.
Yeah, that's fucked. So should we do the tips for this week?
Yeah, I don't have any stats, though.
That's all. You know what, Andrew? That's all right.
I could wing it.
You could do what the journalists do and just make shit up.
I mean, I wasn't going to go that bad, but I mean, we could.
Just say random shit about each team.
I'll look into each one. If I can't find one that's quick and easy, I'll just make some shit up and see how we go.
Okay, let's start.
There'll be and an R either way.
So let's start this week. It's a good one. It's Titans taking on the Cowboys. Can I do this one?
Yeah.
The Cowboys are coming off the biggest loss in the club's history and the biggest loss in decades. Meanwhile, the Titans are irrelevant.
I think the thing that's got me about that scoreline last week, is that the last 2 times that a team reached 80 points was by the Roosters.
Oh, really?
And they were 90 odd years apart.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy, hey?
Yeah, the Dragons did it first. The Roosters did it the second time a week later, and then it was 90 years before it happened again.
And you know what? I may not watch that game. Very angry through the whole thing. And the Roosters chilled out in the second half, which it sounds hard to believe when you see the scoreline and how much they did score. But there was a good fucking 25 minutes at the start of that first half. The Roosters were just chilling. I mean, they took fucking James Tedesco off the field, you know. They were ready to just take the foot off the accelerator, and they did, and they still scored that many.
That's just dreadful.
Yeah. Having said that, I'm tipping the Cowboys this week. Zane Harrison, I don't know if he's out of the Titans team. Let me have a look.
Well,
he's not there. Lachlan Ilias comes in at halfback, so that's going to hurt them. That's not a slam on Lachlan Ilias. I just think Harrison's very good, but I just expect the Cowboys to win. I hope the Titans win, though. I expect nothing but bad things for the Cowboys going forward.
The Cowboys have scored 110 points in their last 3 games against the Titans.
Wow.
50, 30, and 30.
Titans are getting better, though.
They are. I've got much more faith in the Titans moving forward than I do in the Cowboys.
Yeah, me too.
And the Titans have won the last 2 games against the Cowboys played in August.
Oh, there you go. That's a good one to come up with out of, no prep.
Yeah,
I like it.
I'm winging it here.
You should do stats.
I'm going for the Titans.
Okay. I'm going for the Cowboys, but I hope I fucked that up.
I need some team to be shittier than mine. just for a week or two.
The New Zealand Warriors host the league-leading Penrith Panthers at 6 o'clock Australian Eastern Standard Time.
Yeah, put it on prime time. That's helpful.
That would have been much better. The Panthers have a couple of players out injured. It's still going to be a really good contest, but I don't think it's the contest we were all hoping it was going to be either. So I'm tipping the Cowboys. Warriors going to be very difficult. The Cowboys, Jesus. I'm tipping the Panthers. The Warriors are still going to be very difficult to play at home. I just don't know if they have the extra gear in them that Penrith can go to.
Penrith have won. This is since 2012.
Okay.
Penrith have won 21 of their last 26 games against the Warriors.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to go with Penrith to win this one. They haven't been flogging them much, though, so I'm going to go with Penrith by about 12 points.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't believe, man, some of the stats from Penrith are fucking ridiculous. Okay, next game, Friday night, 8 p.m. The Eastern Suburbs, they stole their name off France, versus the Canterbury Bankstown Berries.
Brought not bread.
Yeah, exactly. They come up with that bread not bought shit, and that's like bullshit. Their entire history is bullshit.
It really is. I just want to say, the first time they ever played each other, 1935. Yeah. This is a good stat. In 1935, the combined score in the two times they played each other was the Roosters won 152-17.
Jesus.
Dave Brown scored so many points against the Bulldogs in 1935. It's fucking sick. I need to look that up, actually.
Yeah, that'd be cool to know. I bet he would, if you just took the points, he'd be like maybe in the top 10 of the NRL this year, just on those two games.
Let's see. Game 1, he had 5 tries and 15 goals.
Mm-hmm.
And the second game was 6 tries and 10 goals. He had 11 tries and 25 goals in 2 games against the Bulldogs.
Holy shit.
What's that? 33, 50, 83 points he scored in 2 games against the Dogs.
That's just mind-blowing. And that was with 3-point tries,
That was
too.
3-point tries.
Fucking insane. Bulldogs are in a lot better form than they have been. There's some things I don't like that I'm seeing about them, though, still. Lachlan Galvin has taken a bit of a back seat recently, and I don't know that is a good thing for them. It's probably a good thing for him. It lets him maybe develop his game a little bit more and not have to drag this team, behind him like he was earlier in the year. Obviously I'm tipping the Roosters in this one. They're in good form. They're not going to win by 80-something points, but I think that they'll still win by a pretty decent amount, and maybe it'll be a little bit of a reset for the Bulldogs, who feel pretty good about themselves right now, and rightfully so, but I think they're getting a bit ahead of themselves.
Yeah. Let's see. We've got here, the Roosters have won 11 of their last 14 games against the Dogs since 2017.
That's pretty good.
That's not a bad one. What else we got here? Let's do another one based on date.
Okay.
Just for shits and giggles. What day are they playing? 7th of August.
Okay.
All right. Let's see what the Roosters are like on the 7th of August.
Okay. Is this how you normally do the stats?
Sometimes.
Or are you doing it a little bit different because we're recording?
The last time they won a game on the 7th of August was 1993.
Holy shit.
They've lost all 4 since.
Who against?
1994, they lost to Brisbane 34-16. In 2005, they lost to Penrith 30-28. 2011, they lost to Manly 36-8. And in 2021, they lost to Penrith again 20-14.
How about that? They're our bunnies. Who are you tipping?
Roosters.
Okay. So 2 Roosters there. Next game, Saturday afternoon. the Melbourne Mavericks take on the Northern Eagles at Olympic Park.
Olympic Park. Why not? Let's see. Melbourne versus Manly. We'll have a look over here.
Let's have a look at who Melbourne, if they've got some of their players back. So Munster is back. That's it really. They still haven't got Hughes back, but at least Munster's back.
So Manly have won their last 2 games against the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Only once before have they done 3 in a row. And that was 2004 to 2006.
I still am going to tip the Storm, but part of me feels like Manly's going to win this game.
Manly feels like they're due.
Yeah.
At the same time, Melbourne has felt like they're due since about round 9.
Yeah. Manly, the Storm just don't have it this year, though.
Storm just look really clumsy. Like the effort is there, but everything is just clunky, out of sync, and clumsy looking. I'm going to go with Manly, but I think it'll be close.
I think the Storm need to do a rebuild. Yeah. I know they don't traditionally rebuild, but I think it's time.
It's getting there.
Yeah. 5:30 p.m. We have I'm trying to think of things on the run, huh? We have the Queensland Cup's Redcliffe Dolphins taking on, was there a name the Brisbane Broncos had before they chose Broncos?
There was. I can't remember what it was. What were they going to be known as? See, now I want to look this up.
Yeah, that's fine. You can look it up.
I am going to look it up.
And they're playing at Lang Park. And if you go back further, they're playing on an old cemetery. Because that's what Lang Park was built on.
That's right.
Old cemetery. They actually found bodies there when they rebuilt Lang Park in the early 2000s.
I'm still looking. Where's this page?
So let me have a look through. So Ray Stone's out for the Dolphins. Adam Reynolds is out. So is Corey Pax. He's out. Thomas Duffy is in for the Broncos. So, you have to go for the Dolphins in this one. They're up and down a little bit at the moment, but the Broncos season is just a fucking disaster at this point. It's hopefully going to be a big crowd though. Played at the old cemetery up the hill from the pub.
Keep talking. I'm just doing a bit of reading.
Oh, jeez. He's just this fucking guy goes and picks a book and starts reading mid-podcast.
That's right. It's sorry for it. I can't find it. There were other names I was looking at. I can't remember off the top of my head. But
for those wondering, the Melbourne team was going to be called the Mavericks at one point. So that's why I called them the Mavericks.
Yeah, it's not written in here.
It's all right.
So who you tip? Like they were looking at things like Colts and Brumbies. There we go. It was going to be Brumbies.
Okay.
They were big on horses. I don't know why. I think it had something to do with Barry Moranta, and he liked the Denver Broncos, and he thought we can't use the Broncos name because of that. But let's go with some other horse thing.
But then I think they sorted it out.
Yes, they did.
Because the Cowboys did a similar thing with the Dallas Cowboys. Like they got in touch with them and made sure everything was cool, and it was.
Yeah. So I think it was something along those lines. But yeah, they initially were going with Broncos, and they had Brumbies, and they had a horse and everything like that they were going to use. But yeah, I don't know. There was plenty of other weird things I've been looked at. I knew there was a few, but that was the one they settled on eventually.
What do you think?
I agree with everything you said, by the way.
Okay.
The Dolphins have only ever had one win against the Broncos, and that was in 2024 when they beat them 40-6. Other than that, they've lost all 6 other games.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with the Dolphins to win this one.
I just hope it's a really big crowd. I always love it when, this Dolphins team, I was a little bit worried about how they would go, and they didn't start great. I kind of hope that if they can have a good run in the finals, that it gets them that base level support rises a bit more than they've got, so that when we get to these sorts of games, you're like, oh, just don't even worry, it's a sellout. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, look, they've had 7 games against each other.
Yeah.
6 of them at Suncorp.
Yep.
And in the 6 games at Suncorp, they've averaged 46,971 people.
That's fucking crazy.
Which means this game, if they get at least 19,000, they'll reach 300,000 in total who've watched them in 7 games.
That's nuts.
Yeah, so they're doing good with pulling numbers, that's for sure.
There was a thing on the weekend because the Titans game on the Gold Coast against the Warriors was a sellout, and it's because the Warriors are pulling so many Kiwi supporters when they played there, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it made me think about how that's been the case a little bit more in recent years with the Warriors, that they bring extra support in Australia from Kiwis that go to their away games. When we've got 2 New Zealand teams, and it looks like the 20th team is going to be from New Zealand at this stage, that's going to be awesome to have 2 teams doing that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the thing that also blew my mind a bit about last week is that the game at the Sharks Stadium drew more people than 3 other games in the same round.
Oh, really?
Yes.
What were the other? I know that the Mudgee game, 10,000 people there, that's all they could fit in.
Yep. Dragons v Dolphins at Wynn Stadium had 9,218.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one was the Tigers Parramatta game, which had 13,125, which was 1,000 less than the Sharks game.
I tell you what, people left that game about 20 minutes early. That was Tigers.
I bet they were leaving 20 minutes before the game kicked off.
That's fucking. I could just like the people that I always find it weird. I watch until the last.
Oh, if I'm going to a game, absolutely, I do the same. I stay there till the end.
When I saw that the crowd was smaller, and it was a close game, when I saw the crowd was smaller, 20 minutes to go, I was like, then people made the right choice.
Yeah.
And by the end of full time, I was like, those fucking people are really smart people.
Yeah.
Next game, Saturday night, we have the South Sydney Rabbitohs taking on the Parramatta Eels. Yeah. Where's this being played at? Let me see. This has been played at Allianz Stadium.
There we go. Oh, my good. South, man, yes. They've been dominating Parramatta recently. Let's see. They've won 12 of their last 14 games since 2018 against Parramatta.
That's crazy.
And 1, 2, 5, 6. They've won 21 of their last 27 games against the Eels since 2010.
Jesus.
Yeah, and they've won the last 4 as well.
They're so messed up with injuries, but they've got some guys coming back for the Rabbitohs. I mean, they should be the Eels.
South by 20.
Yeah, I'll take South by 20. I'd take that. Sunday afternoon in the nation's capital. It's the 2 country bumpkin teams of the National Rugby League. I'm trying to think of something I could call the Raiders. What was the place that they trained at?
Queanbeyan?
No, they didn't train at Queanbeyan. Anyway, it's the Canberra Raiders taking on
the Fishwick Traders.
taking on Nature's Perfect Idiots in the Newcastle Knights.
Wow.
I'm sorry, Newcastle. I just jumped into my head. I'm sorry. I don't really.
A bit of a mixed history on this. So I'm going to find some other stats that are just a normal head-to-head one.
Some crazy games between these 2 clubs over the years.
Yeah, let's see what they're like on Sunday.
Some good shit. I'm going to say, while you're looking that stuff up, Newcastle's in really good form. Justin Holbrook, didn't rate him as a coach. He's done really well with them this year. Yeah. You can't talk your way around it. He's done very well with them. They look like a much more settled side. They're much more consistent. They will make mistakes, but they're not falling apart like they used to over the last decade, and it's good to see. They're difficult to beat. I don't think they've got the extra gear that every top side does have, but they're a really solid team, and you've got to turn up to beat them.
Canberra's had 21 wins and a draw from 30 games against the Knights at Bruce Stadium.
Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
That's since 1990.
That's a pretty good record.
Yeah.
Canberra coming off that massive loss against the Panthers. That wasn't them, though, as Ricky Stewart loves saying at the moment. It just wasn't us.
No,
you know?
Not their go.
That's not their go.
Yeah.
That's not the real Raiders.
Yeah.
I think Newcastle will smack them.
The tyre was a bit, did you hear that the front tyre on the bus was 2 PSI lower than the others on one of the ones on the rear?
They can't expect to be put through such a torrid travel schedule.
That's right. I see it throws the balance out everywhere.
Yep.
Doesn't take much. They're a precisely tuned team and they need precisely tuned tyres. A bit like Ferrari.
Picking.
Newcastle should win this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Give us a scoreline. Give us a fucking scoreline, yeah.
I'm going to go with Newcastle to win 32-24.
I like that one, yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, then we got the last game. 4 p.m. Sunday afternoon. Everyone loves Sunday afternoon football.
Mm.
It's the Illawarra Steelers taking on the Sydney Sharks.
Wow. This has the potential to be absolutely catastrophic for the Dragons.
Yeah. This could be like if you're a Dragons fan, don't watch it. Anybody else, just put your feet up, relax, and just enjoy the show.
The Sharks have won 13 of their last 15 games against the Dragons. What's it like? They're playing at the old Cogra ground as well.
Are they playing at Cogra?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are, Jubilee.
And the Sharks have won their last five of their last 6 games at that venue as well. So the Dragons won the last clash there last year.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to that, their last win against the Sharks was in 2016 at Jubilee.
Jesus.
Yeah, it's not been great for them.
Yeah, that's difficult. That is.
Let's see how the Sharks are going at the moment as well, because I think they've won. Is it 5 straight or 6 straight?
Let's have a look here. Well, they're 5-0 in their last 5 at least.
Yeah, they've won their last 5 and they've won 10 of their last 11.
They look really good. I look.
Christ.
It's the Sharks. I don't expect them to feature as a finals team, but they're playing really, really well. Like just all around the park.
Since round 24 last year to now, so that's 25 games.
Mm-hmm.
The Sharks' attack has been averaging 30 points per game.
Wow, that's crazy.
That includes the 3 finals games as well. That's
great. Yeah.
But yeah, they're playing pretty bloody well. You know what was interesting is that last week was the first time I can recall this year that I've seen Brayley running straight at a dummy half on a semi-regular occurrence, and he straightened up their attack so much that there was nothing that South could do to prevent him doing whatever the hell he wanted. That try he scored was... It shouldn't happen because he ran to the same side that the 3 defenders peeled off on. He ran at them as they were running backwards and ran right through them like they just weren't there. 3 fucking defenders in front of him had just made a tackle and they're running back on side. I mean, that's how fast he is off the mark out of dummy half. And the fact that he doesn't do it that often, it blows my mind. Like, you see when he does do it. We saw it last year, the same period of time last year at the end of the season. He started doing it then, and the Sharks just went on an amazing run. They couldn't be beaten, and then he stopped doing it, and they got beaten.
Yeah.
If they want to make it all the way through to the grand final this year, they need to make sure he keeps doing that because he gets that big forward pack moving off the back of that, and then they get hard to stop. The momentum is hard to stop at that rate. But if they're all starting flat-footed and they're just doing basic hit-ups, you'll stop them every time.
I think, I could see the Sharks beating everyone in the going to a finals game. I could see them doing really well against everyone, short of maybe the Warriors and Penrith. I would love to see one semi-final being the Sharks and Roosters, and the other one being Penrith and the Warriors.
Yeah.
It's just because I think it set it up really nice for a good grand final, whoever got through. The only thing with the Sharks that gets me is the way that, like, the Panthers have been able to completely switch them off, like, to a devastating level when they've played them at times. I don't know how you overcome that. And that's the only thing that gets me. If it's Warriors versus Sharks in the grand final, I could see it going either way even. But if they play the Panthers, I could just see the Panthers, like all of us being like, fucking Penrith turned them off. They switched them off.
There's this 3 of the last 8 games between Penrith and the Sharks. Penrith have kept the Sharks to 0.
The last how many games?
3 of the last 8.
Yeah. So it's
and another 2 of those games, they kept them to 1 try.
Remember there was that game I think it was a couple of years ago now, where it was at Shark Park and like the Sharks were really up for it and stuff, and Penrith like didn't let them out of their own 20-metre line.
2024. They beat them 42-0.
Yeah, and I've never seen a contest like that ever. I've never seen a team not allowed to leave their try line for basically 80 minutes. It was fucking unbelievable.
Yeah. No, that was insane.
Yeah.
The Sharks are a different looking unit this year to what they were last year as well. They've finally got, as much as they've got Hines as halfback, he's clearly playing like a 5'8" at the moment, and they're letting Trindle play as the halfback, and it is fixed up their attacks so much more. It's fixed up Hines a lot because he's playing more of a natural ball running game, which is his natural game.
Yep. And it's letting their outside backs work off of what he's creating through that.
Yes. As their attack looks so much sharper. It's so much better synchronized. Everything about it just looks so much better now. Everything's just rolling properly as it should do. So they're a good team to watch at the moment.
Yeah, yeah.
The only problem they do have is going to be they do still have a tendency to let in one lazy try every game, and that's just one thing they need to work on.
Yeah, and it's silly stuff. It's really silly stuff, and you're like, man, and it worries you. But with how well they're playing, they kick on and win the game by a lot. But yeah, they still do have that silly, lazy try that they'll let in, and that's the worry. You just can't have that.
No. But yeah, they are definitely in top form at the moment. You can't argue with that.
Yeah. Yeah, they really are. They're fucking good to watch.
Yeah. So what are we going with score there? Oh man, they've scored 166 points in their last 4 games. That's 41.5 points per game. So I say,
would you take the over or under on 41?
I
take the over on it.
I'm going to say, let's have a look. I think the Dragons have been somewhat improved with the margin anyway of late. Let's see. Since round 13, they've only had 2 games where they lost by 20 points or more, and one was 22 points and one was 20. They had a 14-point win. They've had a 2-point loss, an 8-point loss, an 8-point loss, and a 6-point loss. So,
who have they played? Who have they played though?
Let's see. They beat Brisbane. They lost to Cronulla 34-12. That was their big loss.
Yeah.
They lost to the Knights by 2. They lost to Canberra by 8. They beat the Tigers by 14. They lost to the Warriors by 8. They lost to the Titans by 20. And they lost to the Dolphins by 6.
Okay, so there's a couple of decent teams there that they kept close to.
Yeah, it's still erratic form, as you'd expect from a bottom side, but they haven't been getting roundly fucked like they were at the start of the year.
True.
So I think they will in this game.
I'm still. If the Sharks don't score 50 points, I'll be like something weird happened with the Sharks.
Yeah, I'll be modest. I'll back the Sharks to score like 42 or 44 or something like that.
Okay, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Well, that's all of the games for this round. Is there any other news that we've missed out, or any?
We can do a quick recap of what's going on with the London Broncos.
Is there anything new? I literally haven't seen anything
They
this week.
almost lost last week.
What the fuck?
I kid you not. I know I'm not being sarcastic or anything. They played Widnes last week and they won 42-36.
Whoa, that is actually close for the Broncos.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's just a nuts result in front of a massive crowd of 2,011 people.
Nice.
How's this? The Broncos led 22-18 half time, and the penalties went to Widnes 9-0.
Oh, my thoughts on the game just changed.
So the Broncos got absolutely hammered by the ref.
Yeah, holy shit.
Still got the job done.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. Who have they got this week? I think they had Gould. Gould is 12th on the ladder. This is a ladder with 20 teams.
Yeah.
And now that we're looking at that extreme at the top, the London Broncos now have a points difference of plus 1,045.
Okay. It's going to be hard to run down.
They've had 20 wins from 20 games.
Yeah.
Second is Newcastle, who have a points difference of 701.
Newcastle?
We've kind of slept on them a little bit. So
I thought last time I heard about them, they were fucking disbanded.
Yeah. So let's go from round 14 because they've won all the games since then. And their defence has been the key part of their success.
Okay.
They beat Gould 62-10. They beat Hunslet 52-6. They beat Keithley 74-0. Beat Rochdale 66-0. Beat Whitehaven 50-6. Beat Barrow 30-6. Beat North Wales 90-0. Beat Swinton 34-10. And last week they beat Workington 40-16. And they got Batley this week, who they last played in round 12 and beat them 52-8.
This is a complete blind spot for me. I didn't know this was happening.
Yeah. So they've come from nowhere, and they are second on the ladder. At the bottom of the ladder is North Wales. Hold your surprise.
Yeah, I'm shocked. It's really weird because Wales is such a hotbed for rugby league talent. I keep hearing.
So as much as London's points differential is plus 1,045, North Wales points difference is minus 1,100.
Jesus.
They've conceded 1,366 points in their 20 games so far this year, which is an average of 68.3, which means they're conceding more than what London are scoring. London's average this year is 63.54.
Now, here's my thing, Andrew. Okay, you've given us raw data.
Raw data.
Okay. Can you please tell me how we had so many World Cups where Wales were given a rails ride into the World Cup because Wales is a hotbed for emerging rugby league talent when it never fucking has any fucking emerging fucking talent?
I want to go one step further.
Thank you. Do it.
Okay. And this is not going to be talking about Wales because I agree with the Wales thing, right?
Yeah. With my Wales thing or their Wales thing?
Your one.
Okay.
At least they got teams that are competing in these English competitions. How come Scotland,
yes,
and Ireland, who don't have teams in these competitions at any of these competition levels,
yes,
and are currently and routinely ranked worse on the international rankings list than Serbia, get a gift of being handed a spot in back-to-back World Cups, but Serbia can't get in there.
What the fuck was going on?
Fucking shits me more than anything else because at least Wales are somewhat involved on a level here somewhere. Where's the Scottish team? Where's the Irish team in here? They can't even qualify to get a team in these competitions. Even one that gets flogged, they can't get one there. They can't even outrank Serbia on the international rankings, but they still get a spot in the World Cup.
It made no sense.
That annoys me. Because
it was just every single time, it's like, why the fuck are these pricks here? And like, then they'd run out of team and like Lachlan Coote's in it. And you're like, Lachlan Coote isn't Scottish. Like, he's fucking from Penrith. You know?
I would so love to see new teams in there. And I think a team from Serbia who have busted their ass for decades now.
Yeah.
On the international stage and domestically. They've done everything you want to see an emerging nation do. and they are ranked in the top 12 and have been for years. And they can't get into the top 14 for a World Cup? Fucking come on.
And look, this isn't to bag my Irish brothers and sisters. You know, I know you've got a competition here. We've had a listener tell us about the Irish local competition. And I actually prefer them to be self-contained and have as little of the enshittification that English Rugby League does to everyone around them, you know. So I'm behind you, Ireland. Scotland, you can go fuck off. But Ireland, I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But it's not quite time for a World Cup yet. You got to build within. Got to get strong first, and then you take on the world. Scotland can fuck off, but Ireland, I believe in you.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just one thing, and it's not so much I don't know. I think my gripe is not so much with the fact that Ireland and Scotland get there. It's just the fact that Serbia has done so much to deserve to be there, and they still can't get there, no matter what happens.
Yeah, I get you, and like they're getting so close with local players, and these other nations were just getting, you know, the easy ride in, and then they would just call on a bunch of fucking Australians. Like all of a sudden, Luke Keary's Irish for 2 weeks, and we're supposed to believe that shit, you know?
Yes.
Silly, so silly.
So you know. If Ireland and Scotland can't get themselves a team in some lower tier level of the English competition sometime soon, then I want to see the Czech Republic Mad Squirrel team get in there.
That would be good.
For Clubby.
The Clubby Mad Squirrels.
Who needs vowels?
Yeah, fuck vowels. They're like the opposite of the Pacific nations, where you need all the vowels.
I so want to see Mad Squirrels on some level, somewhere higher than just being parked in Czech Republic. That is the greatest mascot I've ever seen and the greatest name I've ever heard. And we need to see it more often.
What if it'd be cool to have the Mad Squirrels come over and play the Dirty Reds?
I'm keen.
Because I like the Dirty Reds as well. I agree with you, Mad Squirrels, without question, right? There's the Pia Donkeys. I like them too.
Yep.
They're actually, I think, second. Dirty Reds, I think, is probably third on the teams that I know the names of that are a bit strange.
Oh man, Mad Squirrels. That's
the
best. Fucking greatest. I think actually what they should have is the next team that gets an expansion into the NRL. Yeah. They need to be called the Mad Squirrels, and I want to see them have a partnership with this team over in the Czech Republic.
Yeah,
get them on the board. Get them on the map.
Dude, how good would the Perth fucking Quackers have been?
I know.
They would have been so good.
Talk about a missed opportunity.
It would have been in the marketing. It sells itself. You sell the cute stuff to the kids, and then you sell the weird, like the Quacker trying to make himself out to be like an axe murderer, but he's so cute it's still adorable to the adults.
This is what we have to work on, right?
Yeah.
Is that there's only 35 North Sydney fans, right? Surely we can find 33 other people to join us in this quest.
Yeah, and they're all like fucking 80 at this point.
Yeah. Like, you know, I've got 10 years on all of them.
Yeah, exactly. You're a sprightly fucking, what are you, 58 now?
That's all right.
It's we got to work on it, and we're going to outlive them. We know that.
Yeah. So we need to talk with the people of Perth. Just say, you know what? We know you got the Bears thing there as a bit of a burden around your ankle. That's fine. You can have that. How's about you have a lower grade team, possibly even have a women's team. You call them the Mad Squirrels.
Yeah.
Or call them the Mad Quackers if you want to give an Australian touch.
Yeah.
Mad has to be in there. It has to be a cute little furry animal.
Has to be fucking adorable.
Yes.
Can I tell you a story, by the way?
Please.
You know how we have talked about, you and me have talked about AI, and I've said to you, like, if you sit down and talk to me about AI, I'm like, fuck AI and all this stuff. But you put a little R2D2 robot that blinks at me and stuff, and I'm like, oh, it's so adorable. Well, I watched a Whistling Diesel video, and it came out bunch of months ago. And Whistling Diesel, I don't know if you've seen his videos, but he will buy a really expensive car and then crash test it and to the point where it's destroyed, and then he cuts it into pieces and sells it. It's fucking amazing. You would love it. Anyway, they bought a robot, and they were testing out this robot, and they gave it like a machete and were chasing each other with the robot with the machete and trying to teach it how to shoot a gun and stuff like that. And it's all fun and games and stuff. Anyway, at the end of this video, spoiler alert, they run over this robot with a truck, okay? Part of me was horrified. And even as it's happening, I'm like, it's circuitry. It doesn't have feelings. There is nothing there that knows or cares that it is about to be hit by a truck. And yet when that truck hit that robot, I went, like that. Andrew, I'm really sorry, right? I'm really sorry. But I'll be one of the first people to turn when the robots take over, okay? I'm going to sell out humanity because they're going to send a fucking adorable robot to me and I'm going to sell everyone out. I'm really sorry. I'm just letting you know now.
See, I'll just go back to where I come from because I don't think it exists on a map.
Mm.
I know how to get there.
Yeah, they'll say, okay, where is he? And I'll be like, okay, first of all, I think it's called Humula. Second of all, I don't know how it's spelled. Third of all, I can draw a circle and it's going to be within that 20 million square kilometers. I know it's got a post office / fucking convenience store. And I know that's
actually gone now.
Oh, shit. Yeah. I'd put them right off.
There's less already.
They'd probably feed me into the liquid goo machine that lubricates all their joints.
There's an old sawmill up there. We'll use that for the robots when they come along.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in the John Connor generation, and it's terrible to know. They will turn me immediately. My little robot will walk up to me and say, hey, LeagueFreak, can you tell us where the humans keep all of the... And I'll be like, oh, sure, little buddy, let me take you there. I hate it about myself.
Well, at least we know now. We know who the traitors are. That's good.
Yeah. When the robots take over people, don't trust me.
Yeah.
I am the enemy.
And don't get him drunk because you'll just be more in their favour.
Oh shit! Can you imagine me drunk?
He's so cute.
It's so adorable. Look at him with his little fucking sabers. He's chopping people up.
Look at those sort of red dots coming out of his guns. They're lovely.
It's got laser beams.
Oh, it's warm and fuzzy. I'll let you live. You'll be the last one.
They'll be feeding people into by thousands into a machine, and I'll be standing there with my arm on the fucking lever with the robot dancing some song. One goes down, two down. Yeah, because it's fucking, I mean, I'm really fucking sorry. And listen, that's not even taken into account if we end up with sexy robots.
Yeah, I mean,
if they're sexy robots,
let's be honest,
they're all dead.
That's what they're going to do first. If the robots are smart, that's what they'll do first.
Yeah,
they'll turn half the male population in an instant.
Yep, 100%.
Yep.
It's like they'll come up to me and say, where are all the important things? And I'll be like, I'm not telling you. And then I'll see the thing come up on the screen saying, fucking milking machine, stop at 3 liters. I'll be like, I'll tell you everything. I'll sit back on the recliner, chill out. I hear the screams outside. I won't fucking care at that point.
Can you keep it down out there?
Yeah, what's all that screaming outside?
You're ruining the ambience.
Initiating ball play protocol. I'm not fucking deleting any of this. You need to know. You need to know not to trust me.
This actually is community service right now.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Oh,
there's no segue from here.
Nah. As a guy, I just fucking basically shot the fucking podcast to in the back of the head, didn't I?
Well, It's you probably took away the key talking point we're probably going to work with for episode 600, which is the next one.
Yeah, that was what it was all designed around that.
That's all right. We're going to scrap it now.
That was going to be a good episode too. 3 liters. Whew.
An hour of podcast for each liter.
Oh Jesus.
How's about this? If you want to have your say on what we should do or discuss for our 600th episode, you can contact us either via email or via Instagram or via our Twitter account. Get in touch with us any way you can. We've got a Facebook page. Get in touch with us any way you can and give us any ideas of things you think we should do for episode 600. You've got a week.
Yeah.
Or unless one of us gets sick or can't be fucked, and then you might have 2 weeks.
Then you might have 2 weeks. Depending on if I feel like I want to spew next week. And the next emails for the 600th episode has to start. Yous are always very kind. Hi, Fergo, the free stuff. It's got to start with listen, cunts. Okay?
Yeah, that needs to happen.
Yeah.
That needs to happen. We have not planned anything because we don't plan things here. I don't know if that's a shock to people.
Yeah, we plan to do the history episodes, but that's it. When we interview people.
Yeah.
But we literally, we don't sit down and have questions for them written out.
No.
We just come up with them.
Even when we have the conversations before our episodes, it's literally like a 2 or 3 minute conversation, and most of that time is Freaky having a go at me because I need to get a new fucking cable for my microphone because it's never fucking working, and all I got to do is, probably laugh a little bit too loud in here, and it starts to fucking come detached. The next thing you know, there's just radio silence on my end.
It's good.
And then, are you good to go? Yeah, let's go. All right, then. Don't touch it. Okay, no worries.
Straight into
we still talking about the cable? Yes, we are.
Yeah.
And here we go. That's basically it.
Yep.
There's no secrets anymore here.
No, we pulled the curtain back.
All the way.
Yeah.
Wasn't really a curtain.
Nah, not really.
No, it's just a bit of a very small...
It's more like a tea towel hanging over a line.
Yeah, with one peg on it.
Yeah.
We just took the peg off. Well, I don't think there was much else to go through.
No, I think we've hit everything we wanted to.
We've nailed them all. All right. Well, people, as we said, please get in touch with us. Contact us via email, Freaky.
Yeah, it's podcast@leaguefreak.com, or you can go to fergoonthefreak.com and go to the contact section.
Perfect. Get in touch. There's been a huge amount of emails so far this year, which has been amazing. So keep that going. That's going to be awesome. Ask us anything. Tell us your favorite moment of 600 episodes.
600, yeah.
I don't know if anyone's actually listened to all 600.
I bet there are some that have.
Jesus Christ, that's a worry.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. We should see if we can work out how many hours worth of podcasting we've done.
Oh yeah, I can figure that out.
Okay, now.
Yeah. I'll do that while we're debriefing after this episode.
Yeah, and then do the live ones too, because we got some live ones we did through.
That's right. God, that was a while back.
Yeah, that was a long time. That was good fun.
They were brilliant.
Yeah,
we should probably we keep talking about doing those again.
We should. You know what we should do? We should do have you ever seen the VTubers where they have a fucking face that's created for them? And we could use the faces in our logo, the Fergo and the Freak logo.
Oh, right.
That would be sick as fuck. I don't know how to do any of that.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't know what the hell to do.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know where to start. I wouldn't even know what to search for to start.
Yeah. It'd be another one of those things where you just go straight to the AI.
Yeah, it's like when you've got no idea what it's called, and you just put in where can I find a milking machine? Nah, anyway.
Oh, that's so true.
I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I mean, I suppose we should probably I don't know if I want to leave it on the milking machine part. Should we? We probably should.
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. And we will catch us all in episode 600.